See, they have a clear line of sight over towards that bridge, or rather not the bridge, the beach that is going to be towards the south. And I mean, vampires are yet to move up. So many squads looking to find that next position, call home. And this is exactly the kind of read that you are going to go for. Vampires, though, they've decided to opt in for a little bit more of a western rotation, making their way through the lumberyard. And it's a tough rotation because, again, right, finding a safe entry on this edge, there's no compounds in the immediate area, aside from, of course, the lumberyard for the time being. All the other spots are going to be up on towards center zone, and the few angles over on towards the west is now going to be contested as Glue Squad are going to try and fend off the advances coming through from the vampires. A nice little bit of an altercation here, getting ready to roll on in. Both squads looking for the angles, looking for the points, but who will be the one to get it in? Vampires, they came into this match with 3. The Blue Squad came in with 4. So they are essentially side by side with regards to the overall points here.
It's going absolutely amazing. It's going absolutely crazy for all of these players. Surviving in the small of the circles, small of the radius is already a huge thing for the players. But now, taking the fight in this one, it's going to be another big thing that's going to happen. Blue Squad, so far, they're throwing those utilities. Noel managing to get one down. Second one with the grenade. Miaula is also down. There's a Zane being knocked out as Sento, the last guy, the only hope of the team. It's all up to him. He's in the compound. He's still in the other building. The grenades are going around into the proximity. The damage is being done. He is alone, that HP. Someone needs to go rush up on this guy, get that elimination, and this grenade is going to mark its end for the Vampire Esports Blue Squad for elimination, ladies and gentlemen. The circle is going to take another shift this time into the power plant. The power plant circle. It has been a while since we have last seen that. In my whole lifetime, I have not seen a circle go exactly similar to power plant.
Well, I mean, there's always time for a first, right? And this seems to be exactly that. As, gotta say though, Tribe Eremisi, they look like they've got a beautiful position, right? They have the setup that they need to try and drive this one home. Sem9, of course, going to be knocking on the door, but DRS up onto the north. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough one. At least they have a little bit of a plateau here to try and play off of as they now look to utilize the opportunity. Get themselves a little bit more secured here, trying to lock down the angles. But Tribe Eremisi, as we saw in the previous season, they are going to go for insanity here. D2K not going to be making out of this one in one piece as they get wrapped up in 7th place. Rig and the rest of the crew here from Eremisi, though, keeping a very tight angle. Killer taking quite a bit of damage, almost getting dropped on down. And this could be that opportunity, that opener that Tribe Eremisi could be waiting for. But now, pressure's on, right? Eastern side of the zone, not a lot of angles to play off of. These cliffs could maybe buy them a bit of time. But we do see some movement coming in on towards that southern side as well.
Oh, yeah. Everybody right now that is alive, these top 6, they will definitely try that. But at the same time, you see the bottom line teams. that proximity is that I do want to see who they are and what they're doing. In fact, that is Bluz official as a duo at the northern angles. They have to move in the circle, meaning they have to take the fight against the team Sem9 at one point in time. They're also going to have to take the fight against the team Triangle Mercy at the placements where they will be rotating. But Blue Squad now finally moving to the areas where Boom Esports is residing at. The fight is inevitable. From this point onward, the fight is inevitable by any team that even tries to make a single directional move from one direction to another. You have to take that fight. Triborough Messi versus DRS. It's going to happen as well. The grenades are being thrown away. Yetaut are receiving a lot of damage, but Boom Esports grenade is going to connect on Stickley. Stickley is going to be down. Delta is down as well as we can see Triborough Messi kind of being on the receiving end and super farther away from every single one of the players. Bluz official also pushing on. That's 10 elimination that this team is going to have for themselves. Sem9 is not looking good for you guys. The grenade is going to be thrown away onto the players by Voke. Not a connection. Not a connection right there. But DRS, so far, you can see the kill feed as well. They're also making sure that they're booming enough. They're getting those elimination. They're making sure that the casualty is drawing some decent number of attention to them. That's the first elimination that they're going to have. But Blue Squad, again, using the utilities, using the gun powers that they have, taking down one of the Boom Esports player. And right there, and then Boom Esports is out of the match.
Yeah, well played to Glur, really sticking it to them. But now it's going to be Tribe Eremacy looking to kind of hold it out against DRS here. DRS, one elimination up to their name so far. Tribe Eremacy, they've had a pretty good read on this zone shift for this entire match. As they've been just holding on to a beautiful northern setup here. But now DRS pushing right up to them. The first few hits are in. That is going to be Tricks down. Lonely now getting met with the nades. Just managing to evade a little bit of the damage here, but Tribe Eremacy, they could look to close this one up. Yep, Giante sends it over. Are they going to be able to close it up, trying to pull off the res? The utility coming in as a response as the mollies now get popped over the ridge, and that is going to be Lonely going in for a bit of the swim. Oh, Yetauja now having a bit of an opportunity to maybe try and close this one off, but there is still hope now for Tribe Eremacy, as it is just essentially Killer that is going to be posing the big threat, right, for the rest of the squad of DRS. It's not going to be easy as Yetauta now comes in. Just find a bit of an angle. Giante and Rig hoping to try and maybe just pick up the straight, and in doing so, they can get their squad back onto a three-piece. Hoping to try and maybe just pick up the straight,
coming around in this
so
area in this proximity from the backside. DRS's one player comes out of the game, and wait a second, Blue Squad, you were just right there fighting with the Boom Esports. Now you're here taking down the DRS. Blue Squad taking the fight against the team Tribe Eremacy. The grenades are going over. You can see already two players with Tribe Eremacy being down. Tricks is the final hope, and there we go. Tricks being eliminated. Giante also almost going to receive the damage from the grenade. The shots are coming in. Glue XKF getting that knock, getting that confirmation, but giving enough time to Tricks to get that survival done, healing done, but nope, it's not going to work out as Glue Squad. That's the 16th elimination that they're going to have, potentially 17 elimination. The winner of a chicken dinner is about to load. Gyro Sir is in the front proximity. He doesn't know that Blue Squad is giving that revive first before getting that engagement done. Gyro Sir, he's going to stop here. He's instantly going to be rammed down with that obliterative S12K, and it's over. 17 elimination to the team that was almost at the verge of elimination at one point in time into the variant stages.
I mean, what a play that was, though. Blue Squad coming out of nowhere. They almost look like the Power Rangers. I mean, if you look at these outfits. I mean, hey, right? Power to them. because they really brought in the heat in this game. Of course, we did see them drop all the way on that far western side, close to essentially the Georgical crate area, right? The container yard. And then coming through with the rotations, pushing the envelope, continuing to keep that pressure up, and timing the execution to perfection. Of course, it is going to be KF coming through with a glorious 9 eliminations, taking the MVP here for game number 2. What a performance!
What a performance it is. Amazing. I have to say, Blue Squad, they have totally beat up any expectations. And they just came out straight on the top. 27 points in a single match is a very huge number. Blood Official with 18 total points. Triber Messi with 7, 7 for Sem 9. We do see DRS with a 5, 5 for T2K, RRQ with a 5 as well, alongside of Sky Force, 4 for D Xavier, Boom 3 alongside of Vampire, Brigadon by Vitality, and Todak. Once again, ASIA champion Viking, they're having a 1-1 elimination, but Regicide and Sakudai this time around. These are the names, these are the two names that will not have even a single point for themselves. Match number 2 done and dusted. I do want to see like the overall ranking right now on what's the difference that this 27 points is going to make into the very overall ranking. But there we go. Even with the wait a second. What's going on? There we go.
That's impressive. Right, we have a lot of chickens getting dealt out. Yeah, I mean we've got one full. I mean it's crazy. Right? It was such an insane game that you know, someone snuck into the chicken coop and got their hands on a few additional points across the board. Of course, that's obviously not the correct points. We'll get the correct ones on board, and well, there we go. We can see it right there. At least this is still the match rankings. 27 points though. I mean, it's close to the 30 bomb that we saw in the previous season, right? But the 30 bomb didn't come in on the first day. The 30 bomb only came in much later on. So yeah, the pressure is on as the Glue Squad. They are in here, they mean business. But you got to give it up to Blood's Official as well, right? Because if you recall, in the previous game, they kept that momentum going. They only got 4 eliminations and 2 placement points, getting 6 total, right? This time, they get 6 just in placement and double that with regards to eliminations. So a beautiful comeback on their end. But yeah, a few squads unfortunately not going to be picking up any points this time around. I'm happy to see that ASI 8 at least got a little bit of something on the board here, right? Got that 1 elimination, got that point this time around. Regicide and SKD, fortunately not going to be able to brag about points just yet. This time around, Regicide and
R3G was the team that got 1 point in the previous match. This time it is ASI 8. So they're taking the turns, taking that one point for themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the match ranking that is on your screen. I can safely assume that, okay, with this winner chicken dinner that Sakuda in fact Blue Squad got for themselves, they will be cementing the top position at the very least for themselves. They will be on the hashtag #1 whatsoever. But what about the other teams like Bluz Official, Triber Messi? They have been consistent as well. What kind of a placement are they going to have? What kind of placements are they going to be on into the overall ranking? But yes, DK was the match number 2 that just got finished off in a short while. But now it is Miramar again. Once again, we started with the Miramar. The second Miramar is about to occur.
Yep, it's almost going to be time to go with that yet again. But yep, just looking at the points overall, I think Glue Squad are I think potentially on 31 points. That is, of course, if you add 27 to 4, that amounts to 31. So that is going to be what pole position is worth. Yeah, I don't know where the rest are, right? I can't do that much math this quickly, so we'll find out once we have it be official on screen as well. But of course, we're just waiting to see what those points are to get the exact numbers. So we'll take a look at that very soon. But yeah, I gotta say though, what a start, right? What an Erangel to play through, because I would never have expected the zone to take such a far eastern shift, especially pulling into multi-power, as you said, right? You've never seen a zone go there, so you're welcome, right? Now you have it, right? But an interesting thing that I'm also trying to figure out exactly is kind of like where the players there from Bluz kind of drop, because I'm looking at the early locations that they found themselves, you know, where the teams kind of broke off into, and I can't really exactly figure out where they went, right? I mean, Tribe Eremisi, they went up to the north. They were just riding the zone the entire time, all the way down in towards that multi-power position. Then Glue comes out of the blue, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. You know, have a sticky bomb. Boom. There you go. It's ours now. But that's one thing that I actually want to see. I want to see Glue Squad come through with the sticky bombs, because I think that would just be beautiful, right? It kind of plays into their whole brand. So, yeah, there's a lot to be seen here. But interesting thing, though, the teams that were performing like absolute monsters in the previous season, especially coming into the grand finals, I think they're holding back a little bit, right? Because we're not seeing as insane plays. Yes, they are pretty good at taking the engagements, but there's not a lot of good results coming through from those, right? Like, they get involved, they find the plays, they find the angles, and then it's kind of like, yeah, it's okay. We'll continue a little bit later on. So I think it gives these teams that are new to the season kind of, you know, it gives them a bit of a morale boost, because they're like, oh yeah, yeah, look at us go, look at us go. But if the other squads are not careful, it might come to bite them in the butt. There we go. It is going to be the Glue Squad with an 8-slot jump, 31 points on board. Bluz official coming through on 24, and then Todak with that winner with a chicken dinner on game number 1, currently sitting in third place.
And with the 2 points difference from the number 2, that's kind of insane. I do have to give it to them, even though the chicken dinner is there. It's not enough to take you down into the top 2 placements. But argue on the number 4, they go down 16 total points, 16 for the Vikings. Or we could see T2K with 15, 11 for Bigatron and Stem 9. But Driver Messi, this match was almost good for these guys. 8 total points. Sky Force on the second chart is also having 8 points for themselves. There's Sakudai, 7 total, 6 for DRS alongside of Boom, Vampire, Champions, 5 for D Xaviers, and as we do talked about, ASI 8 and Regicide with just 1 point to their name. Not a good start for the Pakistani team, at the very least for the first 2 matches into the area, but 2 matches are done and dusted. Miramar and Erangel, the first set of these matches are done and dusted. Match number 3, the Miramar will begin in a short while. But yes, there is a question on how the players are gonna play into the Miramar match, how they will be.
What's blue and yellow and gives you a shock?
My football team winning? Kidding! Blue and yellow prize tickets at Bingley.
There are amazing weekly Binger deals.
Shockingly good.
Catch our blue and yellow Binger deals at Bingley.
gentlemen, welcome back. We're getting ready for game number next, match 3. We're getting ready to hop into the desert. We've seen one Murmur, we've seen one Erangel, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff happening in just these first 2 matches. Already we're sitting with 31 points for the team up in the front, right? So it does show that they're here, they mean business. But I think, Torix, the big question is going to be who means the most business coming into this next game, right? Are we going to see potentially Tribe Eremity this time locking it in, going for gold, looking to get that winning chicken? Could we have Bigatron by Vitality looking to rise to the occasion? Or could we see a few of the teams that are sitting with single-digit points to their name coming in clutch here and securing themselves the victory? That are sitting with single-digit points to their name, coming in clutch here and securing themselves the victory.
Unexpectancies going around. The first Miramar, within the 5 minutes, we had 6 teams eliminated, right? So I'm expecting this kind of aggression once again into the Miramar. But after this match, as the first day will conclude to a half day, we might see some potential shifting into the momentum, maybe for the players, or maybe it's gonna go top notch more. It's gonna dial up more on the aggressive sides. So this is a question that will be answered after this match. But for now, yes, it will be an aggressive match first of all. But the main concerning factor, the previous match, the circle was at the eastern side. Will it be eastern side once again towards the water areas? Or it's gonna go land, completely land. Or it's that much land that it's actually inaccessible to the very western side area.
Ooh. Sure. I don't know. It could go in any of those directions. We'll find out. I mean, if it's going to be a super aggressive western shift, I've only seen a zone like that, I think maybe 2-3 times before. So that could definitely be quite interesting to see how the teams will go. The craziest one I've seen has ended. You see that little dip right alongside La Driera on the far western side on that non-playable area? I've seen the zone end there before. So if it could go that far west, I think it's going to bring quite a bit of chaos and carnage along with it. But for the time being, it does seem like the teams are going to be playing along the playing path here. No one looking to do anything crazy just yet, but that all can change in a moment. So let's see. It does seem like La Bendita or potentially even Minas Generales could be the place to go for the early game action.
It's only going to take a moment. It's only going to take a spark to ignite the fire between the teams. ASI 8 going south, maybe towards the Los Leones, but no, okay, they stopped there. They stopped at the Minas Generales. There is also Gloomy Sports on the parachute trying to glide up, but the circle's going to go south. Not too much south, not too much north, okay, not even in the center, a little bit close to the south side. Now DRS, once again, it is a fight between these 2 teams. We saw it into the first Miramar, and once again, we are seeing the DRS taking the fight against the Team Vikings at this point in time. As 2 players of the Team DRS get knocked down, the Mini 14 is actually mark its way. It's a knockdown right there and then. 1 versus 1 it is, ladies and gentlemen, but Killer YT is making absolutely sure that whatever he's doing with the knockouts, he's finally pushing in with the elimination numbers, the confirmations, going around Killer YT. It's a back and forth, going around, jump fire, a good shot, 11 bullets, 3 bullets more, 4 in the S12P. You have to get that connection. He does get that connection. Now only 2 bullets remain. Reload, back to the 4. It's a 1 versus 1 going on. UMP 45, but Thompson with only 3 bullets right there. 30 in the chamber. Once again, back to flashbang. The player cannot see for whatsoever. The S12K still gonna connect it. There we go. Viking Esports out of the match at DRS. Killer YT. A 1v4.
I mean, who would have thought, right? You would think that the Vikings could get the jump with the opponent not being able to see, but turns out that's not the thing, right? DRS bringing in the heat. Yeah, big ups to them. But speaking about the big ups, now we are going to be looking over towards the players here from RRQ as they find themselves patiently awaiting the opportunity to rush on forward. Hacienda del Patron seems to be the hot spot to play at here. DRS, they're gonna have to get themselves patched real quick because RRQ, once they find this opportunity, once they rather find this opening, it is going to be go time. We do see a few more players coming in the feed there as well. The players from DX Xavier finding Sekudai. So, yep, it is action, action, action all over the place. Try Berbasi. Nobody here to contest him. All the way in towards, I believe that is La Cobreria. Now, Sekudai holding it nice and steady up in towards El Pozo. The Xavier having three players up towards the north. We can see Lamborghini over towards the slightly more southern positioning. So that 3-1 split is going to try and award them a little bit more information. But the Xavier are playing for the positioning, right? Taking two players, going elsewhere. They're just leaving. They're like, yeah, it's fine. Something will happen soon enough. Well, Lamborghini is going to be trying to rather fill themselves up, holding a nice and steady bit of Overwatch. Yeah, it's fine. Something will happen soon enough. Well, Lamborghini
Miramar, the
is going to be
one
trying,
that we were
trying
expecting
to
that's
rather
going to go
fill
very
themselves
on
up,
the aggressive side, it
holding a
is
nice
not
and
going
steady bit of
aggressive.
Overwatch.
In fact, this Miramar is going very passive for this time at the very least. Xavier so far on our screen at the corner of the circle. Stage number 1 is yet to close down within the 4 minutes marker, but 259 meters outside of the circle, they are close to the proximity of Sakudai. The kid of YT alongside of Yetauta is being knocked down by the team RRQ. No God, no God, you beauty. Now Cyclone, he's the only guy that's remaining into the game. The Thompson, it's making connections, a lot of them. He's a lot low on the HP side. Even the jump fires are not getting us a shot connected, but whoa, 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 whoa. RRQ 1897 on the HP side. He is in fact. Okay, for a second I was saying just on my side, but his name is actually 1897.
Yeah, I mean, if you put all of them together, it's just one big O. Right. I don't know what a play that was. RRQ with a beautiful play there against the side of DRS, ending the match there for them. At least DRS going out here with 4 eliminations. Now it's going to be Sekudai looking for their opportunity as yeah, just making their way through here. Not really moving up too much. I did think that Lewis has moved away, but doesn't seem like that's really happened. Lamborghini's still going to be pretty much situated where we saw them the last time. I'm very curious as to where the rest of the team went, right? Where did the Xavier go? That's really happened. Lamborghini's still going to be pretty much situated where we saw them the last time. I'm very curious as to where the rest of the team went, right? Where did the Xavier go?
It's a double-edged sword. Yes, you're holding too much. You can secure those eliminators, though, but at the same time, staying for too long here also means that you're going to lose some of that vital HP, maybe even in the small chunks right now. It's still going to do some of the damage that you're going to be forced to use those bandages, those healings for yourself at one point in time, and maybe not going to be able to secure those numbers, but you can see Todak into the kill feed. They're getting those knockdowns, they're getting those eliminations, but at the same time, they're also receiving the casualties for themselves as well, as they're outside of the circle so far. They have one player knocked out. Well, the official, another team that's outside. One player, TMG8. He is just in the Campo Militar area, the very northern angles, the very northern side. So almost like 1300 meters, 1400 meters maybe. He still needs to move inside of that circle, but Blaz official Demote, he's 700 meters away. 1 minute only, 1 minute only, and the first stage will close on. I'd say a good thing for this match is that even within the 8 minutes marker, we still have like 16 teams alive into the game. Even with trio, duos, into the proximities, the team is still a team. There is a slight chance, there is a possibility that that player can survive to the top 5, maybe the top 4, and secure some decent number of points for the teams. But ASI so far on our screen at the Los Leones area outskirts, I don't know what they're doing. 2 players going forward, 2 players going into the back. They're just changing directions and trying to find out, maybe waiting for the circle to first occur, and then deciding on that where the circle is going to head out. They will choose which placement they're going to directions and trying to find out. Maybe
it's an interesting strategy that they are looking to play at here. The Xavier, I'm pretty sure that they've sent at least 2 of their players up in towards the zone. In the meantime, it is going to be RRQ to heat things up. It is going to be Skyforce right here alongside with them. And of course, here we get to take a look at where this next phase is going to be taking us. It does shift ever so slightly up in towards the power grid region. So this is going to be putting quite a bit of pressure, I think, especially towards the eastern side of zone. As we can see, a big concentration of teams now looking to rotate up exactly from there. So who will be the one to reign supreme here? I think Bigatron by Vitality, they have a golden opportunity to really try and lock down that plateau that they find themselves on. And that could also present quite a bit of leverage. Now, RRQ though, they lock it up on the north. The Skyforce are going to be the next team down, but of course RRQ now gets rushed as the hits continue to roll on in here. And you got to say, this is exactly what we want to see, right? Nuga trying to see if they can get that res, pull it off before the rest of the squad now gets wiped on down. Bigatron by Vitality going to be looking to strike while the iron is hot as they look to lay into that, and in doing so, actually pushing RRQ away. The rest of the squad now gets wiped on down. Bigatron by Vitality going to be looking to strike while the iron is hot as they look to lay into that, and in doing so, actually pushing RRQ away.
Engaging from the fight, one fight to another. That will mean that they will be given the sound cues to maybe a different team that might come into the areas or moving areas to do a third party into the proximity. But T2K so far on our screen against Team Boomy Sports, the grenade is being cooked from both parties. 2 seconds, 1 second, the grenade is going to be thrown. Boomy Sports M, he's going to receive a lot of damage. He needs to heal himself right here and now, but the grenade is going to mark its elimination. Boomy Sports, hashtag number 15 in fact, and they are out of the match. 4 eliminations without a casualty. Great start with DX. D Xaviers versus R3G. As 3 players with R3G gets absolutely decimated right there and then. R3G is absolutely down to the last guy, but what will that last guy do? This is the big question. R3G, Levi's from the DX, he's making sure that he comes in, gets that elimination, confirms it up, and R3G now survives. Last guy do? This is the big question. R3G, Levi's from the DX, he's making sure that he comes in, gets that elimination, confirms it up, and R3G now
It's going to be an interesting spot to rotate out of. Bluz official now finding Nuga. Down goes the first. Will Bluz be able to close this one off as RRQ now finds themselves in quite a bit of a predicament? Oh, the zone is going to be closing up in the next few moments, and that will take us straight into phase number 3. Triberacy though are going to be sitting in a beautiful high position here, playing the vantage points. E2K also going to be looking to push up the edge of that zone, but here we go. The next phase takes us back up into power grid. So Bigatron by Vitality will have to backtrack quite a bit to get themselves back in contention here.
That is the thing, that they have to make a really big jump to get themselves back into the circle or into any kind of decent number of fights. But you can see Blue Squad at the very western side corner, close to the champion esports, whereas the champion 1 player is outside of the circle, the rest of the 3 they're close to the proximity of the DX and the Xaviers. The fight will definitely occur maybe in a short while, but Blue Squad, they're like, okay, we're not going to take the fight. They are definitely not in any way trying to make any kind of contestations for themselves with Bigatron. Bigatron at the eastern corner, you can see them versus ASI8 versus T2K. The fight's happening. The shots are definitely commencing up. T2K is potentially down to the last 2 guys, and if it has one guy, Igneous is actually pushing back to the BTR set angle. You can see one player, Moonzoji, he's not even moving an inch. He's barely budging from his location. But Igneous, I want to see what he's going to be able to do, what he's capable of. Is he going to be able to eliminate some of the players of the, at least BTR, get them into the casualties situation or not? As Casanova, he's also moving back to his own team members to get that revival done. You can see into the mini screen, you can see Igneous throwing the grenades, trying to make any kind of connectivity upon him or not. Ladies and gentlemen, the connectivities are not happening. BTR on the other side, taking down another player of the team, ASI8. Now, it's a rush from ASI8. BTR losing a player, potentially leaving them down to the very last guy from this point onward, as if Adrales, the solo hope, the only hope, is going to be absolutely decimated from ASI8's hand. And giving them a chance to get all of their players that were revived back on.
Well, let's see whether or not there is going to be that opportunity to bounce back. ASIA, this could be that ticket that they've been waiting for, the opportunity to secure the plays, to secure the angles. Blue still eating away at those health bars. Now, it is going to be Sekudai looking pretty golden up in towards center zone. RRQ still having a little bit of a foothold in this match. Numbers, of course, not really in their favor. Vampire Esports, though, they're going to be looking to rise on up. But, I mean, Tribe Ervacy, they find themselves in quite a bit of a position here, right? Coming up alongside Sem9. And then the players there from Xavier. So, to be very careful as to how you lock in that rotation. Champion Esports also not going to be trying to test their metal as they look to get this party underway. Xavier, though, not going to be too phased just yet. So I think for Champions, if they want some points on board, this is what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to try and take down the side of Xavier here.
I mean, that's one thing that absolutely they do have to do. But the circle, the main question is that how the circle's going to like. That's one thing that absolutely they do have to do.
All right, well, here we go. That zone has taken us into quite a bit of a situation here. The glue squad coming through on that southern side as well. We're looking to see if they can sneak on up. But Dorix, again, right, there's no clear indication as to how this one's going to play out. Situation here.
I mean,
the glue squad coming through on that southern side
can go
as well.
at any direction in point in time. You can see the bottom line teams, they're surviving at one point in time right now in this proximity. R3Gs, potentially with a solo player. Vampire Esports, for some reason, they're at the very bottom as well. But Tribe Mercy versus DX, in fact, Xavier's, the fight's going to happen, and it's going to happen outside of the circle. So it's Sem9, Team Tribe Mercy into the proximity, and there's also Xavier's into the area that got into the fight. So it's not just 1, 2, 3 different teams. It's multiple teams into the areas. It's multiple teams into the vicinity. R3G Roshan gets eliminated by Sakudai. The grenade that will also go in. Break managing to get a knockdown onto the backline. He sees Rosemary. The sprays are going, but Rosemary instantly do a very big brain move. Gets into the car and just reverse that car whatsoever. Down the slope, get the momentum. The grenade goes, not any connection. Tricks. It's a little solo guy. Tricks, but Sem9, they barely managed to scoff out of this tussle unscathed. But now, high YQ. Let's see if he's going to be able to heal himself in the meanwhile and get that survival done as well. Because in a short while, in maybe 2-3 seconds, that circle, that smoke, in fact, is going to deplete out the grenade, the damage, the absolutely anything to be thrown at player. It can be like absolutely phenomenal and can get that elimination from the side of Todak towards that angle. But Perajin, he's one of the guy against Todak that got knocked out. 8 elimination. Todak is once again in Miramar doing a wonderful job. First Miramar was their name, was for these guys. And once again, the chances, the amount of aggression that these guys are showing with the potential of elimination that these guys have. Okay, it is looking that, okay, Todak may get the win of a chicken dinner, but I had to say that as they get cursed. They get absolutely annihilated from that point with 8 elimination to their point, but DX, Xavier, 13 elimination, DK.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier, they're doing some pretty good work right here, as we did see that play coming on to the expense of DDK, or rather at the expense of DDK. But now another team could look to rise the legation, right? ASIA coming through with a bit of pressure as Casanova finds Lamborghini. Quick confirmation on that one. It's going to be 25:04. Looking to just ride it out. Calm now, looking to apply the pressure here. They're pushing up in the nades, getting ready for a bit of an application. This could be a very abrupt end now for Xavier. Beautiful nade from Calm. ASIA, they need to full send it. That's exactly what they're doing as they find the shots there. Oh, things are looking pretty tough. And Xavier slowly getting wrapped up, absolutely taken apart. And Iron just flying across the zone as well.
I had to name them. And they just get eliminated as well. Okay.
take it
Okay, I see
apart.
how it is.
And Iron
Next
just
time, do not let
flying
me
across
save an
the
alien
zone as well.
team doing good performance. But ASI, ladies and gentlemen, on our screen so far, with the 10 elimination, all the 4 players remaining, top 5 it is. 14 players are remaining into the game. Blue squad, they're still surviving. A team that got a very amazing points, 27 in a single matchup at Angle. This is a team that is once again facing the casualties. It's a knockdown going around on them, down to the last guy. Sakudai Esports in the power grid, a good placement, a good position, but I see Xbox Q so far just moving out of here, getting out of this placement. He knows what's at stake. He knows he has to be at least into the top 3 to secure some decent number of points. 13 players remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We have Champions as a solo, we have Blue Squad as a solo, then we have Sakudai as a trio, but Team ASI 8 and Team Vampire Esports, all for a man. Full squad, full-fledged squad, ready to take that action.
Well, let's see whether or not Balja and the rest of the crew, which is just them, can maybe lock this one in. So, one player for Champions Esports. Well, let's see. There's going to be one there for Glue as well. Sekudai got a good spread here. They've got Power Grid under lockdown. But ASI 8, they are coming back with a vengeance. 4 players, 10 eliminations. This could be them now looking to rise out of the fire. Now, Sekudai just doing a lot of scouting here. Going to keep their heads on a swivel. Don't want to get surprised just yet. But as we know, Sekudai could also do with a few additional points here as well, right? I mean, everybody is going to be pretty happy with points, right? No one is going to say no to that. So Sekudai, of course, starting this match off all the way in 11th place with 7 points up. So far, been only able to find themselves one. They are going to be capitalizing on placement points. But to make this one count, they will need to secure every additional elimination that they can find here. So maybe this could be exactly that opportunity for them. Meanwhile, ASI 8, I mean, they started the match with 1, right? They had 1 point on board. Now they took that 1 and they added a 0 to the end, right? Just rounding it off, making sure that they come in and really contest the players up on that first page of the standings. Now, maybe the rest of the team are going to be looking to make any crazy major upsets just yet. Waiting to see where this next phase will be taking us. Casanova, yeah, looking to extend that reach as they sneak up. Vampires just ahead of them. But I think, Torix, this is where you got to be very, very careful, right? Because if you can see the opponent, there's a good chance the rest of their squad can see you as well. Vampires just ahead of them. But I think, Torix, this is where you got to be very, very careful, right? Because if you can see the opponent, there's a
Amount
good
of
chance the rest of their
circle,
squad can
the
see you as well.
radius that I'm seeing and the amount of teams in the circle, it's kind of very, it's bogging me, it's bugging me at this point. A while ago at the start where the things should have been aggressive, it was really, really like slow pace. But now we're in the stage number 6 and already we're down to almost the end of our game number 3. Casanova now trying to shoot down the Vampires Esports player. One player of the Vampires down. The second one also goes down as well. Blue Squad gets eliminated. Casanova comes into the play, makes a 1 versus 2 right there and then. It's a 1 versus 3 and he makes it up a 14 elimination. But Casanova right after that elimination on Vampire Esports and potential contenders. The team ASI is also going to lose one of their players. Casanova is right now knocked out. 8 eliminations. Someone needs to get this guy up and running once again, back on his feet, because he is the guy that has been aggressing the most. Casanova is right now knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, Casanova doing amazing work right here, but they still have 2 other squads to go up against. 4 players standing between ASI 8 and a potential winner chicken dinner. The pressure is going to be on here. Let's see if Natsu can maybe get a little bit of magic happening over here. Iron, of course, just doing a little bit of due diligence, making sure that there's no surprises coming through from the Shacks. But unfortunately for Iron, they've not yet spotted Balja just here on the edge. Of course, they're just peeking over the ridge. Iron receives the reinforcements. This could potentially be the end of Champions Esports for this game. Utility starting to rain on down. A little bit of damage making its way in here. Oh, yep, there we go. It is going to be yet another casualty working in favor of ASI 8. 15 eliminations. They are going to be looking to finish this one off with a bang. Now, now 3 players still to go. It's going to be Sekudai. They've been very, very quiet this entire match, right? Just one elimination. They are going to be capitalizing on placement. That's not really a strong play here. I love what ASI8 are doing. 4 players strong, 15 eliminations. They could make it 18. That's not really a strong play
18
here. I love
can
what
be the
ASI8
number
are
with the
doing.
winner of
4
a
players
chicken
strong,
dinner, meaning
15
we'll have
eliminations.
another
They
highest
could
elimination
make it
number.
18.
Last it was 27, now it will be 28 if ASI8 manages to secure the chicken dinner with all of the elimination of Sakura Esports. But ASI8 baby so far, aka Crypto, he is in the front lines with the smoke giving out his location, potential location, but Calm is being very calm at one corner of this warehouse, trying to find out where the Sakura Esports players are. The grenade is being thrown. It's not going to be enough to even get inside that warehouse. You have to move forward. You have to push forward. And moving forward, pushing forward will kind of mean that Sakura, you're going to be in an absolute advantageous position. You can easily take at least one player, maybe get him finished off at one point in time, but it's all up to Calm. If Calm is going to be able to get a single knockdown on Sakudai, that will instantly mean a rush from ASI8 all the way to Sakudai, and that will be enough. That is going to be enough. It will all be it at that point in time. But we're waiting for the circle so far. ASI have to move in this circle. Going straight up into the forward side. It will be like a very difficult situation for them to not get shot. It's a really tempting offer, but Himson, I kind of want to see what Himson is up to, because his location is definitely going to be crucial. He's going to take the fight against Calm. Calm is going to do a lot of damage on him, and as we see Calm now moving forward, the grenades are also being thrown. It's being cooked. Himson cooking the grenade. 1 second, last second, he's going to throw it up. He's also going to get knocked by his own grenade, sadly, and this can mean that it's over for Sakura from this point onward. Himson gets eliminated. You can see Casanova moving forward, taking a peek fire right there and then. It's 18 elimination, ladies and gentlemen. 8 securing that winner chicken dinner. Sakura, the initialization was bad, and the execution, it's straight winner.
I mean, you got to give it up to ASI8, right? They decided that this was the match, that they are going to come back with an absolute vengeance. And boy, oh boy, did they do a phenomenal job finishing beautifully here. Of course, you can see the lineup there, but Casanova coming through with a really strong performance here. I mean, the elimination count was just up there, right? So not much that you can fault here for ASI8, and this is exactly what we love to see come through. But yeah, we are going to be heading into those points. An interesting shift in this dynamic, right? ASI8, the stone just went right in their favor. Casanova finishing with double digits, coming in with 11 eliminations and almost 1100 damage to back that one up. I mean, yep, gotta love it.
Out of 18, this guy, the single guy, manages to secure 11 eliminations. The rest of the team got 7, but the 1074 damage indicates that he somehow maybe have secured some knockouts to his own name as well, but a decent number of placements, decent number of elimination, and a very great overall total points in this match. 28, judging the last match's 1 point, that's 29 points. Still not going to be enough for the top number 1. Xavier, 16 total points. Todak with 9. RQ with the 8. 7 for Sakudai. Champions with the 7. Alongside Vampire with the 5. T2K also 5. DRS with just a 4. 3 for Glue. 7, 9. In fact, just for Glue, 7, 9 and Bigatron is going to have 2 total points for themselves. But Tribor Messi, Bloods, Skyforce, White, 1, 1, 1, 1. But Regicide and Boom with the zeros. They were the ones that couldn't get the points for themselves, but even with the not a very great performance, Glue Squad is still going to be on the very top at 34 total points.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be in. Glue Squad, they are going to try and stick to that as best they can, but look at ASI8, 14-point jump. 14 slots in one single match. I don't think we are going to be seeing much more of these kinds of plays coming through here, as of course we know the overall rankings, once we get to that second page, is going to start to tighten up as well. But yeah, there's currently not a lot of really separating. 3 points. 2 points rather between second and third, and then of course 4 as we move on to the next slot. Then 1, then 3, then 1, then 3. Right, this could all change up in one game. So there's still a bit of competition, especially I would say on this first page. But I think the second page is going to be where it's at as we now take a look at that. It is 13 points to close us off right at the top of the board. And yeah, that's it. Right, champion, Sem 9, Bigatron by Vitality. They have it. Now take a look at that. It is 13 points to close us off right at the top of the board. And yeah, that's it. Right, champion, Sem 9, Bigatron by Vitality. They have it.
A lot of placement 3 from number 1 to number 2 because run by Vitality Gamer in the previous matchup, the first shot as well. But Vampire Esports, it's a plus for them. They definitely managed to secure one more placement for themselves. Rialis is going to lose to their 6th placement. Lost for Tribe Messi Skyforce with 6 placements lost as well. Then we have Boom Esports with 4 placements lost, 6th, and Regicide with still that 1 point for themselves into the overall ranking. That's the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. This is the half day concluded. But with Miramar being taken first at the very start by the team, then we, I think it was Todak. Todak was the name, 9 elimination. Then we have Blue Squad with 18, 17 in fact elimination. Then ASIH with 18 elimination into the match. I can just imagine how much more aggressive all these teams can be, how much more placement and the number of eliminations that we can so high at the very end of this day. Maybe we're gonna like hit up the round of 30 total points at the very least after the day ends.
I mean, based on what we've been seeing so far, it makes sense, right? As you said, we had 9 eliminations, 17, now 18. So it makes sense. 30 should be the next game, right? That's just what we'll have to see. But it's not going to be an easy one for these teams to accomplish. So excited to see who will be the one to drop that 30 bomb on us. And of course, before we find out, we are going to be heading into quick breaks. So be sure to stay tuned. We'll see you right back on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Of course, we're getting ready to move into the second half of the day. You're on the desk with myself, DK, and not Tarix anymore. It's now Aladdin. Aladdin, how you doing?
Thank you so much for having me once again. I'm doing great, and it's Torix after the plastic surgery, you can say that. But yes, we have to head straight back into the action. Once again, it's Loma Asia Showdown Season 3, and we have best of the best teams competing. But man, oh man, that was a great match by Team A6 side. In the previous game, we saw 19 elimination numbers match, and A6 side once again they're telling us that they have some brilliant skillful players in their team.
Yep, I mean they're not going to be backing off, but I also like what the Xavier was doing, right? Also securing themselves a very strong finish in this game. So the overall standing still pretty contentious as we've seen. But as you've mentioned, right, we are going to get ready to move into that next match. Of course, we are going to be heading straight back into Erangel. And I'm curious as to who's going to be looking to rise to the occasion, because we've seen a few contenders now stepping up to that. Of course, the last match took us all the way over towards Malta Power, so that does make things quite sticky, right? Of course, the players there from the Glue Squad were the one to secure themselves the victory there with 17 eliminations. But apparently, hopefully, according to the trend that we've been seeing coming over the past two games, the next match should hopefully be the 30 bomb that will get dropped on us here. I don't quite know who could be the takers for that.
Well, to be very honest, the 30 bomb is going to be very difficult now that we have Team A6 side coming up and trying their level best to get those elimination numbers. But side by side, we forgot to mention one team, and that is definitely Team Dingos, because the way they played, I'm talking about DX, they had 14 elimination numbers alongside those 18 by A6 side. You know, whenever there's one team who gets some extraordinary points, it gets difficult for all the other teams to get good numbers, but Dingo's still managing to get 14 points. It clearly tells us that this lobby and specific teams, if we talk about them, they will not settle down so easily. But let's move ahead towards the next match. It's going to be played on the map of Erangel. Talk about the flight path. It starts from the northeastern side and a bit more corner towards that eastern side. Teams will definitely face some difficulties if they try to move towards that Giorgio Hospital, Gatkar, maybe the Kori side. On the other side, the circle, the first shift is definitely going to be most important factor.
Yep, I have to agree with you on that. So, curious as to where exactly it is going to be taking us. We've seen a few different positions now being played out here. Hopefully for the teams that are not going to go back onto the east, but we'll have that be an answer really quickly. A decent spread as the teams are starting to make their way on down. Not necessarily seeing any potential hot drops coming through. We could have a little bit of something up there towards Savoni with T2K now having some company coming in pretty hot alongside them. But there we have our zone. It is beautifully centered up onto the sunken city. And yeah, I think this is a nice change.
Well, the circle definitely moved towards the northwestern side, where you can clearly see that all the teams, they will probably not face so much problems while rotating, because this circle, it has so much play area. On the map of Erangel, we usually see some circles towards the military side where teams, you know, they face difficulties, they face those bridge cramps. But for now, there's an early skirmish in which Team T2K, they're coming up against Team A6 side, and on the other side, it's RRQ versus Team DRS. Kilo IT is down, and RRQ trying to slowly, come close and get those elimination numbers confirmed. On the other side, DRS, they're coming for the rescue, they're coming for the revival. Cyclone is a bit far away from his teammates, and on this 1v3 situation, he has to do something amazing. Cyclone, let's see, is he gonna be, is he ready to face his opponents? On the other side, A6 side, they're closing the deal and the kill feed and getting some elimination numbers confirmed.
Yep, it's gonna be go now. DRS. Will they survive? Cyclone getting hit. Killer YT off the back end. Trying to pick up a little bit of that RRQ spread here. Yeto Uda now just on the edge. Very cautious not to enter just yet. But it's going to be a lot of O's just waiting on the door. We see that play though. Nuga, beautiful flashbang. This is going to be go time. And there we have it. Execution style coming through from RRQ. DRS down to a solo. Killer YT Now, essentially opting to come through just on the offside here. It's a 2v1. This could be the showdown for DRS. Now, to secure the points on the board, they've been showing quite a bit of aggression already so far here today. But will they be able to lock it in? The res is going to come through here. Now, as RRQ is back up on a 3-piece, the Killer White team really needs to keep their head on the swivel. Angles just on the side, but RRQ managing to just keep out of harm's way, and with that, clear it up. DRS will have to back their bags and head right back into the lobby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, DRS playing in a early on fight and then playing in a split definitely hurts them. And now they're eliminated. But on their side, it's Team A6 side versus T2K. T2K slowly and steadily, they're losing their players. And A6 side, they're closing in. I mean, probably the same mistake was made here by T2K that we saw Team DRS doing. Playing in an early fight, it requires a lot of coordination, and side by side, you have to stick together. I mean, it's a 4v4 fight, not a 1v4. You don't have to, believe on those heroics and try to go all in. Casanova, he's AFK. He's offline. And maybe that's the reason why A8 is not pushing forward. Two eliminations confirmed was in the backpack of Casanova, and now he's online, I guess. He's back. But once again, A6 will try to push forward, but R3G, they're waiting. They're trying to, gatekeep this area. Whoever wins this fight and tries to leave, they will probably face Team R3G, because R3G is now showing that interest in this fight. Once again, A6 side, now that Casanova is back, they are slowly and steadily closing up with those grenades. They will probably face Team R3G because
Let's see if T2K can hold their own here. It is going to be Kajai on the window. Casanova now back in the fight here with the rest of ASI8. They look to push on forward, and Aladdin, I'm curious as to how this one is going to go for the side there of Regicide, right? Because they are now still very spread out. We know what the fate is for T2K. ASI8, of course, now just sweeping the floor there with them. But still, there is an opportunity here for Regicide to come in. As you can see, beautiful angle here from Roshan up onto Casanova. The knock is there. The confirmation almost in. But the rest of I8 now need to react really quickly if they want to keep Casanova in this fight.
I think Casanova was eliminated because Roshan did not just take him down, he eliminated him as well. And that's how you get third party. These are the disadvantage of fighting in a drop clash. All the other teams who are maybe looting close by, they will just know. They will look at the map feed of one match, and then in the other match, they will just try to close in and get their fair share in those elimination numbers. But Skyforce in a rotation fight up against other gaming. Some trades are going back and forth, and Skyforce, they have two of the players eliminated. But Riley takes that leap of faith. He was out in the open, getting shot from two different sides, yet he managed to stand, and then he took one player down. So the gaming, now they're falling back. They are not showing any interest to revive their teammates because they probably have a wrong clue about their opponents. They have no idea. Do they have any idea that it was a 2v2 situation? They could have, come back and try to revive their teammate. Sanjay gets the first elimination number confirmed, but through the gaming, they left their player to bleed out. Skyforce, they got one elimination number, but we can say, even if they confirm this one too, it's not a good start. I mean, giving your two players away after confirming two elimination numbers, not a good trade.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough ground to try and make much to stand on. But speaking about ground though, Tribe Eremisi, they've covered quite a bit of ground looking to get themselves situated. And I think this compound that they're moving into is usually quite contested. You can see also Vampires just there over towards that northern side. So RRQ, pressure is going to be on to see if they could maybe sneak in a bit of that third-party play. Skyforce just holding on the edge. Two players up, two eliminations to their name. Sanchir now quickly just grabbing a bit of loot before getting ready to move. But I like that read coming through from RQ. That could definitely buy them quite a bit of an opportunity. Meanwhile, Tribe Eremisi, they're about to get encircled by Vampire Esports as they now start to descend down upon the compound.
Absolutely, Vampire Esports, they have to get indulged into this fight as soon as possible because the hill that they are trying to hold on, that's the worst hill in this area, because a lot of teams will try to hit from this area. They will get their angles on this team, specifically Vampire Esports will probably face a lot of third parties. They do not have to hold this. I hope that the ISO of this team is aware. This is one of those cursed hills which you cannot hold whenever the circle is, on towards that area. But wait a second. For now, Team Skyforce is getting indulged into another fight. This time around, RRQ is in front of them. I mean, how are they managing to pick those players who are already how are they managing to find those teams who already eliminated the 2 or 3 players? That is something insane. But wait a second, Riley pushes forward, but he gets eliminated. A beautiful grenade by RRQ's player shuts him down. And RRQ, after one drop clash fight that they won for themselves, they got 2 more elimination points, and now that counter is getting increased. But in all that process, they lost 1 player, which is definitely going to hurt them. On the other side, there's another team, this time around also away from Nepal. It's Team Dai who's taking this fight, a close range condition where grenades are going all in. Some back and forth utility usage is being done by both the teams. And on the other side, if we look towards the circle, a southeastern shift which will definitely reward teams to rotate inside. Not many teams will face any problem while rotation. Only you can see Team R3 on the circle that is rotating all the way from the dojo side, and the rest are already in circle.
Yeah, I mean, a good read on these plays though. From the squad's nice and proactive with the rotations, but now Zim9 still in the jungle, still going to be sipping on some blue juice, and now going to be feeling the heat as the rushes come in. But Sekudai closes it off, and down they go. Zim9 out with 9 eliminations. But I'm curious what's going to happen within the zone itself, because we did see quite a few teams already taking a good setup within that center zone. So the pressure is going to be on. The Xavier, of course, pushing in from Pubg, coming on from that southern rotation. Quite a few teams already taking a good setup in that center zone. So the pressure is going to be on. The Xavier, of course, pushing in from Pubg, coming on from that southern rotation. On towards the eastern side here of Sanok. They do have a little bit of company sharing this position here with them, so the pressure is going to be on them to see, can they hold their own? Are they going to look to get a little bit more daring, maybe push over onto the side here of Boom Esports, or will they just keep to themselves? I think maybe keeping to themselves could be a strategy, but it does seem like they are going to be testing Boom Esports.
Absolutely, both the players are trying to test each other. But for now, I'm kind of impressed by the split of Vampire Esports. Like, we saw those compounds where they had the idea that this hill is cursed and they cannot go all in. There are 4 players in front of them. Slamming in this lobby on a 4-player squad, that's kind of a disrespect, and it can hurt you back, and that's something that Vampire Esports knows. That's the reason why they're playing in a split. I mean, look towards the map. 2 of the players are holding towards that hilly area. 1 is far away from those 2 players, and it's a 1v2v1 split. That will definitely help them a lot, and they will push teams back. Anyone who tries to push here, they can definitely hold onto this area for themselves. But wait a second, circle with the northwestern shift, a bit more corner toward the side, but this will definitely force Team BTR to move inside the circle. And on the other side, Dingos, who are in the Pochinki side, they will definitely try to close in. But BTR, will they try to hold the edges, or will they try to move all in? Now that teams have the idea the circle is going towards that Rozak side, they can definitely go and slam in, try to get that city area, because this urban warfare is going to get very messy. Whenever there's a circle of a city side like Rozak, you have to go all in as soon as you can, because once the teams reach there, it becomes difficult. It becomes impossible for you to breach those areas and go all in.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be quite challenging. I gotta say though, Ranger side, right? R3G here looking pretty good. I mean, 3 eliminations up. They still have the full squad, but of course we still have 13 teams in this lobby as we now step into stage number 3's closure. Pressure is going to start to mount. You can see the Vikings also starting to kind of push up into the Rozak area. But again, right, so many points of contention here, and especially with the zone kind of being separated with that river flowing right through it. I'm going to be looking to see who's taking up that more northern position up in Rozak, and also will be locked in onto the more southern side of the northern half of zone. For the time being, Rozok still pretty separated as the teams look to make their way through here. Regicide, though, are going to be testing themselves against the side of Tribe Eremisi, potentially just waiting on the ridge to see what Eremisi will be doing. And I mean, I think for Eremisi, this is phenomenal because they don't have to move. They know that they're pretty safe in zone. So they can just sit back and see where this next phase could be taking them.
Absolutely. I mean, Team Vampire Esports, they had one of their player placed on that fridge that we saw Team R3G playing on. I guess that's the same player who got eliminated by Team R3G. And now Vampire Esports are forced to play together. Their split is no more in play. They have those twin compounds for themselves and they will try to hold that area. But on the other side, RRQ coming in on towards the Trozak side. And now a couple of O's, in fact, so many O's trying to take that fight. Pushes forward on Team MVK and RRQ getting that elimination number confirmed once again. They are indulging themselves, forcefully indulging themselves into every other fight. This time around, it was a player for MGN Vikings, and now that they know that two of the players are still alive, some back and forth shots are being landed on each other. BTR on the backside, still waiting for these teams to go ahead and fight with each other. But RRQ, wait a second, you cannot give your information like this to your opponents. And MGK, I guess they are trying to take the players of RRQ down, but still the success is not there. And RRQ playing with the three players. Let's see this solo. What can the solo do on the other side circle? Moves towards a bit more western side of the Rozok. Still, that city area is in play. Boom Esports, they have the best area for themselves. They can definitely score some good eliminations. But on the other side, if you focus on Team R3G, they are trying to gatekeep that area from where Team ASD and probably Team Vampire Esports will try to move on. If you focus
it is going to be a pretty tough defense here, so there could be quite an opportunity available for them up on that northern side, but looking to the southern edge as well, right? Things are still looking pretty challenging as, well, we are yet to see a few squads roll on forward. DX Xavier, of course, being one of those soldiers holding on the outskirts. Blaz Esports also find themselves all the way on that far eastern side. There's somewhat of a safe entry moving towards the zone. They have quite a few compounds, so that is going to be obstructing their view and that will allow them safe entry. See Vampires also now coming through with that rotation, heading a little bit further over on towards the western side. And from what we saw on the east, there's quite a vast open plane, right? They are most likely going to be opting for that fuel station is where we can see them now pulling up in towards. And the big question is the zone going to allow for a bit of a continuation on that position, or will it force them to push up? Now, Vampires closing it out. As they've spotted the angles here, they do find the sprays, but the zone is going to keep them moving further and further upwards, so not quite the angle that they were hoping for.
Absolutely, and if they are not careful, they can definitely find themselves in the close quarter of ASX side, and we know that ASX side, they are trying to play so aggressive, and this fight will be I mean, a treat to an eye if we manage to say this. But on the other side, it's BTR trying to, getting close to that school area for now. That's an open train. They have to be careful. Buzz Official is on the backside. Smokes are being deployed. The virtual cover is placed. But once again, Buzz Official, they're not being careful. How can you ignore a player who is playing inside a smoke area? But on the other side, Vampire Esports, as we were talking about this, they managed to find themselves into the crosshair of ASX side, and ASX side, they will not miss this time around. It's a 1v3 situation now. The last man standing of Vampire Esports will be forced to move forward. There's a blue zone on one side and Team ASX side on the other. He has no way to survive. But BTR, as they took one player down, they're going on a charge. They're going on a hunt, and this time around they will find the last man standing of Bloods Official. They just shut him down and get another elimination number confirmed. But wait a second, is there going to be any other team who will hear those gunshots and try to stab BTR or not? But BTR going for a revival. On the other side, this time Boom Esports is trying to get the perfect utilization of this area. They have the best area inside the circle for now.
Yep, I mean, this is going to be prime real estate right then and there, so the pressure is going to be on here for Pubg to see if they can make the magic happen. Onbit and the rest of the crew keeping themselves nice and alert. Gotta be watch out, careful though for, I believe that scam there from the side of Onbit and Tadok just waiting on the edge. Vampire Esports not going to be able to continue with their play. But But now, let's see where this next phase is going to be taking us. Oh, it's going to keep the pressure on. I think especially looking at the Clue squad, they're going to be quite happy because the last time we saw them kind of riding the zone, kind of surfing their way in, they came out victorious, secured themselves that winner chicken dinner. Of course, the aggression not necessarily going their way for this game, as we've not seen that runaway performance just yet. They've not found a single point, in fact. But Regicide trying to clean it up. Got 4 eliminations up. Still a bit of a challenging rotation now to get up into this next stage, as it will start closing through in the next 10 seconds or so. Tribe Eremacy though, Aladdin, still very removed from the zone.
Well, they are away from the zone, but you can see that there is an open terrain. If you look close by, there's no other team to gatekeep them, but all eyes on the fight of Boom Esports, where BTR is going to challenge them this time around. They have 4 elimination numbers already, but Team Dingos, will they be able to eliminate BTR and get their ways inside the zone? But on the other side, though, the gaming, the last man standing got eliminated. He tried to backstab R3G, and yet R3G, they managed to get inside the zone somehow, and they avoided the Team RRQ. But RRQ, now they have spotted the players of R3G one by one. They're trying to take them down. Waz is eliminated by Team AST, and now 2 teams are trying to do a third party or try to make a sandwich of Team R3G. But on the other side, BTR versus Boom Esports. In fact, DRX was also there. DRX Levi's was the last man standing, and he got eliminated by Fredroll. Look at the elimination number of Team BTR. It's 6 eliminations. There was Boom Esports, who was also playing close quarters of this area, but they got also eliminated. But for now, RRQ going all in 3v3 situation. They eliminated one of the players. AST is also there. R3G is now in a bit of pickle, but the grenades are going back and forth all in. A couple of O's. It takes a lot of damage, and look at his HP. He is barely surviving on that. Maybe 1 HP, but once again, RRQ trying to get those elimination numbers confirmed and throwing some grenades. File close, throws a grenade from the R3G side and finds one player.
Well, beautiful nades being played out of this position. Now, Trix also just trying to sneak up, find a little bit of a contribution here, maybe trying to steal a few of those eliminations from either RRQ or the players from Regicide. This could be exactly the approach now for Tribe Eremacy to follow through here. Again, just keeping their distance. Boom also up on the high ground with about 4, maybe 5 squads in contention, trying to lock it in. But looking at Boom, Fajar, interesting approach they're taking, coming in from the elevated point here. The easy nade could be the one to seal the fate here for Regicide, as Roshan is going to try and bring the team back on their feet. 8 eliminations up, so nothing to scoff at here, but it is going to be a full send as Tribe Eremacy just sends it up, securing their first elimination. Took them 21 minutes, but here they are. As you can see, a lot of O's also being our dominator here, walking away with quite a bit of performance. But now, we are down to just 6 remaining teams, and the highest elimination count that we have currently on the board is going to be from the side of BTR. 6 elims, but they're feeling the heat as we just saw Bumblebee getting dropped on down. Now, Tribe Eremacy coming through from the north. Boom Esports, if they can lock this one in, they will have a very comfortable rotation back into the zone.
Absolutely, Boom Esports, they have some compounds inside the zone, so that's the advantage that they have over any other team. But for now, AST, their entire focus is to, just maximize their loot, try to reset their heals, and then focus on a rotation that will take them inside the zone. But the problem is that they have MVK on one side, and then some of the players of Boom Esports are also gatekeeping them. So what is going to be their plan of action? They can definitely use that shore side and move inside the zone, but there is no cover inside the zone. Clue will be waiting for them. Clue, as well as they're also gatekeeping Team BTR on one side. BTR was trying to move inside the zone, and Clue Esports, they find 2 players. They got their 3rd elimination number confirmed, but BTR going for some revives out there. Now on their last 2 players, they had great elimination numbers, but the zone disadvantage, it got them. And once again, Clue, look at them. Look at their spread inside the zone. They are just making it difficult for everyone out there. But BTR, will they close in? Will they get somehow a cover cover or a good spot inside the zone? That's a big question. But the split of Glue Sports, it will definitely gonna hurt them. On the other side, Boom Sports, they got surprised by Superman. One of the player is down. ASD is also ready to charge on Team Boom Sports, but some trades are going back and forth on both the side. Boom Sports now coming for a retaliation. One knockout on MBK side, and Boom Sports will definitely regroup towards his compound. And the good thing is, this compound has its own. Boom Sports, they have a heighted area as well. Knockout on MBK
Yep,
side,
I mean, elevation and zone positioning, that is going to be one of the key factors to play for. It's going to be the Vikings that won't make it up into this next phase, as we are down to only 4 squads remaining. The numbers looking pretty good though, right? BTR the only team sitting with 2 players up. Boom now going to be feeling a little bit of that heat as it gets applied. But let's see if Beatron by Vitality can look to close this one off. Still having a little bit of a way to go to get a good secure position. Tribe Erebus here, I like what they're doing up to the north. Now looking to play the advantage. They have the numbers, they have the angle. But can they leverage it and get themselves that winner chicken? That of course only time will tell. But now it's going to be Bigatron by Vitality. Optimus again looking for the prime position to take the engagements from as they find themselves over on the edge. But not full sending it just yet. It's still just poking and prodding. Not going to be fully committing just yet. And I can't really fault them for that because this is such a difficult zone to play through.
Absolutely, one of those difficult zones where it was looking like the circle is going to end on that Rozak side, but it abandoned in the last stages, and now there is no play area. BDR, they managed to secure a good spot inside the zone, but now the circle left that compound as well. Once again, that vehicle cover is going to be in play, but Team Blue, as soon as they realize that BDR has no hard cover, they can definitely score some elimination numbers, and here comes the first knockout. BDR left with the Optimus. Once again, that solo player who is so close to Boomy Sports, one good grenade and it will be a game over for BTR, but they have their entire focus on their elimination numbers, and now you can see that the highest elimination numbers are confirmed by Team BTR. But on the other side, Glue Squad, they spotted the last man standing and they eliminated them as well. They have the best area in the zone for now, but zone, it left Team Glue. 2 of the players are still inside the zone, but one had to force himself to move further. Once again, now it's down to the last 3 teams, Glue versus AST versus Team Boomy Sports. A bit more defensive approach by AST. I think now is the time, it's the right time that Team AST they should try to pace up their momentum and try to get some elimination numbers, but Boom charges from one, Glue charges from another. AST will not be able to capitalize on this situation. It's a 2v4 situation for them. One by one, all the players of AST are going down and they're left with Trex, who will be dealt by a beautiful grenade or not. A grenade comes in and he faces a lot of damage, but still manages to survive.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Trix going to have to find a few of those tricks if they want to survive. Now it's going to be the rain down of utility. Boom Esports looking to move on forward. Glue also coming through from that western side, but the shots are in. Trix rather is down. Regnar is going to try and survive. You can see Noel. Ooh, keeping that front line pretty tight. Up comes the rest of Glue. Are they going to be able to stick it through and get that dub? Just on the edge. Look at the spread though. Glue just reading the zone phenomenally as they now look to get the upper hand against the side here of Boom Esports. Oh, beautiful nade. Bonbit getting picked up. Now 2 players left to defend. Majar or Fajar now just tucking back, looking to come through with the res. You can see Stickly and Xbox up on that went eastern side rather. Now just riding the edge of zone, trying to sneak up behind. Plays here from Boom. It's going to be XKF also going in for that res to bring their numbers up. Boom still very defensive, not going to let this chicken get taken away from them. They look to keep the defenses there, right? Glue slowly piecing themselves back together. It's going to be one bit down. Fajar now just holding up against the tree, but fortunately though for them, there's no one able to push up behind them.
Absolutely. For now, they have that advantage. Boomy Sports, they have one of the player players on the backside, and that's where they're getting all that cover, and Fajar will be able to revive Monbat. But Boomy Sports, now that they have the man advantage in play, they need to use that util alongside that man advantage. It has to be in play. But Boomy Sports, what is their plan of action? Team Boomy Sports, they have to move inside the zone. They don't have the zone. Team Glue is gatekeeping the zone for them, and it's a 2v3 situation. Yet the zone advantage is in the favor of Team Glue squad. But Boomy Sports are coming with those utilities. Once again, a grenade comes in, but somehow the player of Glue, he dodges it. It lands so close to him, but he still survives. He's trying to dodge all that utility, but how will he manage to do that? He does not have that hard cover from all the side. A grenade comes in, manages to damage KF, but once again, that heavy artillery fire is gonna damage them. But one by one, as those grenades, they make a click on one player. KF is down, and now last man Neo has that responsibility to get something, to do a wonder, but Boomy Sports will shut him down and get this chicken dinner for themselves. A beautiful chicken dinner comes in from Team Boomy Sports side with good amount of elimination numbers. But yes, we had so many dominator. Now you can see that every team in the lobby is trying to get their hands on those elimination numbers. So Boomy Sports, they will definitely dominate, but not with a lot of eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, a chicken is a chicken, right? However you look at it, so well done to them. And of course, now we know the strategy coming into the final stages of the zone is to do what Boom did and just go boom, boom, boom. Rain down the utilities if you can't get a clear line of sight on the opponent. But yeah, a beautiful strategy getting played through here from them. You got to give it up to Glue Squad as well, right? They tried their best to kind of keep that defensive line up, but unfortunately Boom had other intentions. Of course, the MVP is going to be M all the way from Boom Esports with 6 eliminations and nearly 1,200 damage secured.
I mean, nearly all the elimination numbers was confirmed by this one player, M. He has 6 eliminations with 1195 damage. This damage definitely justifies those elimination numbers side by side. You know, the contribution of all the other players of Boomy Sports was also there. They were trying to assist their teammate with the utility, be it utility or be it those sprays out there, be it those revivals, and all in all, it was a team play that worked. 11 eliminations, 6 by 1 player, and 21 points in total. This will give them a huge shift on the points table.
Yeah, definitely will secure them a good spot in this one. Just gotta love what they've been able to do here. But then you also gotta look over at the Glue Squad, right? Coming in that second place, finishing with 11 points. Bigatron by Vitality on 11. RRQ coming on 11. I mean, RRQ, our second most aggressive team for this match. So gotta love it when we see more and more squads rising to the occasion. For Regicide though, this has been their best game that they've played so far, right? They've been struggling in the other games to find good consistency, to find that pacing, but it all seems to have now clicked in right as we entered this fourth match, the second half of the day. So love to see that. ASI 8 though, not having as insane of a performance this time around, still managing to get themselves 6 eliminations, but they had a few difficulties to try and overcome moving into the later stages of the game here.
Absolutely, yes, excited. They got the elimination numbers in their first top clash, and R3G was the main reason why this team did not get that momentum that they needed in this match. But for now, if we look towards overall standing, Team Blue Squads have 45 total points in 4 matches, and that's an amazing number. 19 placement points, 26 elimination points on the other side, ASX side, 1 elimination number away. But if you look towards the total points, there's a 10 number difference, all because the survival points of our Team ASX side, the survival points are not enough from this team. But RRQ still managing to place themselves in the 3rd spot. They have 35 points in total, and the competition is getting high because look at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th number team. 3 slots on 3 points difference.
Yeah, I mean, it could all change in one single game, but yeah, the competition is really starting to tighten up when we're only in the 4th match, right? We still have 2 more days of play to come, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of shifting coming through on this board. But of course, speaking about the board itself, we do have Viking Esports closing us off in 9th place, coming through with 22 points. I mean, from 9th place to 1st place, right? Only, what, 23-point difference? And that is just one good match to change up the whole situation. Speaking about situations, though, looking at the second page, everybody has points on boards, right? 10 points between 10th place and 18th. So again, there's still a big opportunity for a lot of that movement to come through in the remaining matches here.
Absolutely. T2K and DRS, if they need to close up, they need to abandon the drop clashes. There are so many places on the map of Erangel where you can go, so many available avenues that you can go and explore for your team. So taking those drop clashes in the first zone, that's something that is creating a lot of problem for T2K and Team DRS. I mean, you can see that DRS only have 10 points in 4 matches. That is really a big problem on the other side. R3G, they managed to get 9 points in the previous match. They had only 1 point in the previous 3 matches. So yes, it's a great match for them, but they need to pace up a bit in the coming matches because the competition is looking intense now. 9 teams will qualify. If you look at it, it looks like it's a big number, but when you look towards the competition, it's not easy to be in that top 9 spot.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And so, as you were saying, right, even though the team stepped it up in this last match, just stepping up in one game is not going to be enough to secure your qualification spot, right? So, if you don't step it up, the rest of the lobby is going to run away from you. So, you got to bring in that heat, you got to bring in that pressure, because if you want to stay in it, you're gonna have to do the work, right? You have to bring the aggression, bring in those points, and make it as challenging for the opposition to take you out.
Absolutely, and qualifying from this stage is a little bit easy if you compare it with the next stage because 10 teams from the Esports World Cup will join. We all know that what is the capability of those teams. They are in the momentum. They had the Esports World Cup going for themselves, and now all that confidence, all that the things that they learn in the Esports World Cup, they use it in this tournament. But I guess, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for very going for themselves, and now all that confidence, all that the things that they learn in the Esports World Cup, they use it in this tournament. But I guess, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for very
Brekkie is back at Hungry Jacks.
the things that they
welcome back to the Ladoma Asia Showdown Season 4 already. A pretty exciting day that we've had so far. 4 games and 4 different teams rising up to claim that winner chicken dinner. Aladdin, we have 2 more to go, right? We've got 1 Miramar and 1 Erangel left. And I don't quite know who's going to be the one looking to clutch it up.
Well, looking towards the previous Miramar, we can clearly see that ASXI, they had a different band on this map. You know, Pakistani teams, they have this obsession with Erangel and Sanhok that they completely forget that there's a map called Miramar, and it's one of those important maps if you talk about competitive scenario. But ASXI, they are working on this map recently. I've seen them dominating and, coming up with a 19 elimination number bomb on this map. This clearly tells that they have worked seriously on this map. Once again, will they try to replicate their performance and that 30 number bomber that we were talking about? Will they try to drop it on this map? Previously, they had a bad luck. There was a team who was trying to, gatekeep their area, R3G specifically, coming from the regional side. Let's see if there's any other team who try to challenge them, or will there be a 30 number gameplay by them?
I mean, 30 bomb would be pretty great, but from what we've seen so far, the teams that were able to get themselves that winner chicken dinner, either the zone wasn't really working in their favor, or they had quite a bit of opposition coming up towards them. So it's going to be interesting to see who will be able to convert that consistency. But the last team that we saw rise to the occasion, of course, being the players there from Boom Esports, bringing in the heat, bringing in the fire. But now it all boils down to what will the desert bring on through. So we've had the players from ASI 8 getting that one winner chicken dinner, and of course then the other victory we saw going all the way over to the players from Dodex. So there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of potential contenders that are going to be clashing for that winner chicken dinner. Todak, they've been having an interesting day, right? I mean, the past few matches not necessarily really going their way. The last game that we saw, they also were able to secure themselves only 2 points, and those points all came off the back of the aggression. So if they want to step up to the plate, they're going to have to bring the pressure, and they're going to have to come in pretty hot, I would say, in this next game.
Absolutely, but talking about the next game, I have to talk about the drop clashes. Previously, MVKE was coming up against DRS. They lost their drop clash. DRS had 4 elimination points in the beginning. On the other side, we saw Team DX versus Team Dai SKD. They were also indulging into a rotational fight. So once again, will there be some similar situations as we saw in the previous match? Erangel, there were some drop clashes. DRS is not, they are not trying to abandon it. They're trying to, fight on early on stages and then confirm their elimination numbers. So I think their intention is straight, their plan is straight. They just want to indulge themselves into an early fight. Once again, maybe there will be a drop clash between DRS and MVK that we saw in the previous Miramar. Side by side, DRX, if you talk DX, sorry, if you talk about this team, they had 14 elimination numbers. Although the domination from AS, it got highlighted, but somehow we ignored it, as I mentioned previously. So let's see, will Team DX try to replicate this performance, or will they get eliminated this time around by Team SKT? But somehow we ignored it.
Well, only time will tell, right? There's going to be a lot of opportunity, a lot of things to be revealed as we are going to be stepping into that following match. But R3G though, right? Great to see them starting to wake up come match number 4, really stepping into their own here. So maybe we'll see a little bit of that potential continuation, because I don't think that we can really figure out all too much of what we could have come through from their side, right? Yes, they did try a few strategies, right? We did see them into those later few stages in the previous Miramar, but nothing really getting turned into too much of an opportunity for them. This time around, though, the zone is going to be centered on a very southern approach here, taking us all the way from that Via Del Mar, and of course heading just across Impala side. But Aladdin, this is where I want to ask you, where do you think we're going to be taking the zone towards this time?
Well, the flight path is a bit more cornered towards the southern side, so I'm expecting that the zone, the first circle, is going to be Maybe it's gonna go towards power grid side. San Martin, a bit more, centralized shift. Is something that I'm expecting, but only time is gonna tell where the circle is gonna go. The recent circle shifts are very unpredictable. There used to be a time when if circle goes towards the southern side, the flight path goes towards the opposite. Now that the recent meta is in play, it's kind of unpredictable where the circle is gonna go. But there is one thing that is predictable, and it is those early on drop fights, because R3G, they're looking so close to one team, and I guess it's Monte Nuevo that we're talking about. Bloods versus R3G will probably gonna be in play.
Yep, that's definitely going to be an interesting thing here. Monte Nuevo going to be hitting up. We also do see a little bit of a potential play up in towards Los Leones, but there we have it. The zone is going to be taking us over onto that western front. Looking quite favorable, I would say, here for the players from the Glue Squad. Even looking over to TDK, right? Nice start that they have there, so not too much of a hassle for them to get looted up and get going. Crypto is going to come through with our first bloods. We can see it right then and there. Sekodai also getting ready for a little bit of heat here alongside RRQ. So Puerto Pareso, it's going to be hot. And DX Xavier, the next team out of here.
Absolutely, Dingos gets eliminated early on by ASX side, but they eliminated Iron with them, and now Team ASX side will be left to play with the last three players. The same situation was there in the last match, and they got, eliminated by their next opponents. But now that they have three players alive, Calm with 3 eliminations. I mean, in every other fight, whenever we see the ASX side, someone from this team tries to step up big time and gets that heroic performance, gets those 3 elimination numbers. Previously, it was Casanova. This time around, it's Calm, but the elimination feed is going on. There is Team RRQ that is also trying to get close in. There's one squad, SKD, in front of them. On the other side, Semline versus Bloods officials is also going on some other area. But RRQ, they're on the run. They're charging in. Look at this. Tai Pekka is spotting. He's trying. He has an Uzi in his hands. 3 players with the shotguns. They're going all in, charging in. But still, Pekka manages to take 2 players down. Lapar is down, and BDR. In fact, RRQ, he used to play BDR previously. RRQ, now one of the players also charges, and Pekka takes another down. It's a 1v3, and now he has to convert it in a 1v4, coming up against RRQ with the Uzi, and his cavalry is also there. All the players of SKD also coming up with him. A couple of O's is waiting for him with the grenade. Pekka going for that 1v4. He needs to clutch this out. He's going all in. He has a Uzi in his hands, but he has to face a shotgun. RRQ won't touch them. The answer is a big no, and RRQ O's take one of the player down, and RRQ, as they got eliminated, Himson gets the last elimination point. But wait a second, before getting eliminated, he managed to take 2 players down and eliminate another.
Oh, wow. Pretty crazy performance that we've had so far. I mean, look at that. We've had like 3-4 teams already getting eliminated. So, I mean, these teams, right, they chose violence when they came into this game. You gotta love it, though. DRS, look at that. We've had very calm over on this end, right? Puerto Pareso, hot and heated like no one's business. But then if we look up into Hacienda del Patron, it is pretty chill. Boom Esports also now finding a nice little piece of tranquility here. But Aladdin, it's interesting that we've had a few crazy altercations to start off the match, but now it seems like it has calmed down quite a bit, right? The team's kind of getting over that quick disagreements. Plus, still going to be feeling a little bit of the pressure there, as we do see Sem9 still laying quite heavily into the side of them. But Monte Nuevo is going to be quite a contentious play. Now, Vampires, they've got that whole casino area to themselves. Blaz official down to 2 players. I'm not quite sure if Sem9 is going to allow them to escape here.
Absolutely, Blaz official. They have Chairo knocked out, and they need to revive their teammate, but I guess Sem9 is not going to allow them. Chairo is bleeding out, and slowly and steadily he will also get eliminated. But last 2 players, their entire focus is to take Sem9 out of the game. And look at this, XC finds one player, he takes him down and he shuts him down as well. He gets that elimination number confirmed. Sem9, they had no idea that one of the players is wrapping them around, and look at this. Plus official, they win this fight for themselves, but at what cost? They lost 2 players, and that's not a good trade. That's something that I always say. That's something that I always mention. That taking that early on trade, getting for elimination points, and eliminating 1 or 2 players, that's never a fair trade in the first circle. I mean, it also depends. If it's the last zone, then maybe that trade is good. But if it's the first circle, you need to move forward, fight with all the other teams that have 4 men standing. You know, you will already be in a disadvantage. But Plus Official, that's their maximum input in the previous fight. But let's see if this thing gives them a momentum that they need for the coming matches on the other side. It's the last Miramar, A6 side, who loves to play on this map. Will they be able to replicate their performance as they did in the previous Miramar? They lost 1 player, and it's gonna hurt them in coming fights.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Iron is not here anymore, but as you mentioned, there is an opportunity for them to maybe pick it up and come through with a bit of that continuation. Casanova this time around, surprisingly not really packing too much heat, though, right? The only one that's left in the squad that has not been able to find eliminations just yet, but that could all change up really, really quickly. Glue Squad, though, I think they're one of those teams to watch, especially when it comes to just their overall rotations, right? They kind of like to stay on the edge of zone, kind of just riding that storm, looking to see if they can pick up a few cheeky trades along the way. So I'm curious as to how they're going to be looking to play through the remainder of this Miramar. DRS also, right? Up in Picado, usually Picado is sometimes a bit contested. Fortunately for them, especially because the zone has shifted that far over towards the western side, there's not going to be too much for them to worry about, at least not for the time being, so they can focus on prioritizing rotations. Now, Vampires, they will have Boom moving up alongside them, just knocking on the doors, looking to see if they can find a few things along the way. But Bluz, official, off they go. Out in 13th, and we're down to 12. Now Boom getting picked up here as DRS Gaming example, makes an example of them.
Absolutely, DRS is playing on that area where they can, gatekeep all those teams who are trying to rotate, and Boomy Sports will be their first hunt. DRS now they have the information that only 1 player is in those compounds. For example, push here, or will they try to gatekeep, or maybe just wrap around this area? There are so many teams in the outskirts who will try to rotate from this close rod networks, because that's the entire plan of DRS. They know that they are in a very bad position on the points table. They need all the elimination numbers that they can get, and that's something that you do on the map of Miramar. You take all your 4 players, take those weapons that you need, 8x mini 14. That's all you need to gatekeep those rotation alongside some M4s and 3x's, and then you can maybe find a closed road network from where the teams are going to rotate inside the zone, and you can take some players down who are trying to rotate. And that's exactly what Team DRS is trying to replicate. On the other side, we have Team Vampire Esports. If we look towards the points table, their performance is not very impressive. Yes, in the previous game, they had some good elimination numbers, but Vampire needs to step up big time. On the other side, it's ASX side versus Team DRS going on. A third party by Vampire Esports will definitely take one of the ASX side player down, but they need to revive as soon as possible, and then it will be a head-on fight with DRS. Going on. A third party by
well,
Vampire
this could
Esports
maybe be playing into the hands here of DRS. Gonna have to keep their composure. Don't want to give up the opportunity just yet. But I like the slight bit of conversion that we have, yeah, the team's starting to converge on both that western side as well as down on towards the southern front. That is going to be bringing in quite a bit of pressure to see who will be able to kind of muster it and work their way through it. Boom Esports though, good nice little bit of a reach that they've got here over towards that eastern side. Vampire Esports still to move on out. ASI 8 also still in it. But are they going to be able to wing it? Because they've got a solo, right? So Calm needs to keep it all cool, calm, and collected. they want to survive into those late few stages. Already 5 eliminations up. They are situated quite comfortably up in second position. But if DRS has any say in it, they're really going to look to try and maybe fly up these standings because, I mean, they've got 10 points. They have a long, long way to go. In second position.
Absolutely, they have to be in the top 9 to qualify for the next stage, but DRS only 10 points are not gonna do enough. On the other side, Vampire Sports getting some elimination numbers confirmed. Boom, who had the previous fight with A6 side, they eliminated 2 of the players. A6 side, you know, the rotation got them, the chaos got them, that circle shift got them. They were trying to move inside the zone. There was Team DRS who was gatekeeping them, and then Booming Sports, they slammed in. And we all know that Booming Sports, they love to play aggressive. Now you can see that they have some elimination points in their backpack, but only one player standing. And Booming Sports and Team A6 side, both the teams, they are struggling in this match. I mean, confirming those elimination numbers in early on fights and then losing your player, that's not going to do enough. And AS6 side, they get eliminated as Vampire Esports confirms another elimination point. If you look towards Vampire Esports in this match, they have 3 eliminations, but the good thing is they have all 4 players alive. There's no other team who has 4 players alive and they have some elimination points. If you look towards Team SKD, they have 4 eliminations, 1 player eliminated. Booming Sports, 2 eliminations, 2 players eliminated. But yes, Toda Gaming is also there, but they have only 2 elimination points. MGN, another team who is struggling, but unfortunately they will not convert this match into another good match because they have only 2 players alive. They have only 2 elimination points.
Yeah, and that is going to impact them quite a bit. BTK, though, beautiful ratio on the side of BTR. Optimus now getting picked up. An effortless spray, though, here from Rules. Just going absolutely crazy. So that is at least 1 point of contention, slightly alleviated, as we did see the rest of the players there from BTR. Quite a bit of a distant position there from them. Bumblebee up on the hill. Sure if Ajay can get the sprays in here. But TTK, I like this awareness coming through, right? Not going to let anybody slide past them, but the pressure is going to be on. Are they going to be able to gatekeep BTR from gaining entry into this next phase? Or potentially maybe see BTR pushing right through them and sending them back into the lobby?
Well, the pressure is definitely going to be there on the both teams because the circle is not there. Both the teams, they need to conclude the fight as soon as possible. If they want to fall back, fall back. But the circle is going to be there, the common enemy of everyone, and it's going to damage Team BTR alongside the other team, Team D2K. But I guess there will be a fallback from both the teams because BTR, they already lost one of their players. D2K, yes, they have 4 players, but they have no reason to stay outside. They have no reason to, you know, drink that blue juice. But Tribal Messi on the other side, another team from Nepal who wants to play aggressive, but previous match was also a match where they had an opportunity. They did rotate it brilliantly. If you look towards the rotation of the previous match, I mean, the way they managed to stay away from all the fight, that was brilliant. But wait a second, T2K will not fall back. They will go all in. They had an opportunity. They had an opening. They took Optimus down. But after the revival, it's after the revival when they realized that they need to push. The circle is coming in. And the potential dominator of this lobby, they are charging in T2K from 10th spot onwards. If you look towards this team, they had 20 points in the previous, in all previous 4 games, but now they are starting to pace up, and let's see if this first fight will take them to the domination that T2K loves to do. But on the other side is Blue Team, a team who stays away from all the controversies till the last zone, and then that's when they somehow, you know, we somehow spot them with all 4 players alive. But this time around, they are once again staying away from all the fights and inside the circle on a very good spot.
But it's an interesting strategy coming through from Blue Squad, right? Because you would think a team that kind of keeps themselves disengaged are going to have a little bit of a challenging time kind of ramping up that performance all of a sudden. But somehow they managed to pull it off, right? So I definitely admire the strategy that they are utilizing right here. Of course, we are going to be nearing the end of stage number 3. Stage 4 is about to be revealed. It is going to take us a little bit more in towards Ladriera. So the Clips, that's going to be the prime position to play for. Bonbit, I think that's a very risky spot. Right there in the dip, all these teams on the hill around you. I'm not quite sure if Bonbit was just up for a bit of a challenge, maybe, or maybe there could be a strategy involved in that.
I mean, when you're the last one standing from your team, that's the safest place for you because no one's gonna just come here and explore. Because the teams who are on the edges, they will not allow anybody to go such deep inside the zone. So maybe it is a blessing in the form of disguise for this player. But on the other side, Vampire Esport, if you look towards them, they are 3 players on the edges. But this time around, they're facing a bit more challenge from Team Skyforce. Skyforce, they're constantly trying to poke the players of Team Vampire Sports. But if you look towards Triber Messi, Trex is down. As you mentioned previously, he needs to play all the tricks. As you look towards the points table, you will find Team Triber Messi on the bottom side. This team is on the 14th spot. But Reg, his buggy? What happened to his vehicle? What's going on here?
It's got a mind of its own. I think maybe it was like, no, I want some blue juice. I want to go back in the opposite direction. Take me back there.
Yeah.
But fortunately for Rig, Trix was there to lend a helping hand. So Triber Messi, they have a way to still get themselves into zone. I see them going through from that western side, but this is where you got to watch out for T2K, and then of course the players coming through from Todak, right? Todak also situated a little bit more towards that western front, so it's not going to be a super easy entry by any measure. But I mean, T2K though, good spot here, nice high ground. I don't really see too many teams posing any immediate threats to them by any measure.
Absolutely, but if the zone comes here, T2K will have that opportunity to convert this match into a 12 or maybe 15 elimination number match because they have the height advantage, they have the elevation, they have the minute advantage as well. But if you look towards AST, they're indulged into a fight, indulged themselves into a fight with Team Glue and Glue Esports. They took 2 players down, and look at this Reg as he's moving forward. He got third parties from different side. 2 tires of his vehicles are burst, and we all know that buggy gets compromised so easily. But wait a second, a counter spray from Reg will definitely give a lot of damage on the players of Team Glue. But is he gonna be able to manage? Is he gonna be able to eliminate, confirm those elimination points? I'm sorry. But wait, on the other side, some grenades are coming in. Glue Esports, they're wrapping him around. They know that only 2 players of Team AST are here, and the minute advantage, it's gonna get them. Neo on the other side, he's trying to revive himself. Reg trying to get those bandages on. But wait a second, a spray comes in, and Neo finds his head. Neo takes him down. AST now on the verge of elimination. They have their last man standing, but before getting eliminated, AST trying to confirm all those elimination points. Now Trex, he's getting damage from the blue zone. On one side there's AST, and on another it's Team Glue, but Team Glue will confirm this last elimination point. Or maybe it was Team TDK who did a third party, confirmed 1 elimination point in this fight.
Yep, it was indeed TDK to do that. I almost thought you said DK because I heard the DK at the end of the TDK, but hey, either which way, we are going to be looking at that zone, taking a beautiful shift now back over towards the eastern front. So all the hard work the teams have been putting in to get themselves into the west now gets turned on its head, and they all have to double back and head in the opposite direction. The tensions though are going to continue to build. You can see the Vikings, a good read here. Nice little hiding hole that they have just on the edge of zone, trying to play their hand, cross the way up into the players. I believe that is Skyforce that we have in the opposite end. Oh, good response though. Break, trying to get the hit in, but instead gets shot in the face. Not quite what you want when you look out a window, but hey, we'll take it. It's Pubg. Stuff like this happens all over the place. So still 2 players now left to represent for the side here of the MGM Vikings. SDK though, they're going to be knocking on the door. It's going to be TDK just up ahead, and SKD, this could be that opportunity to lock in a few more plays. 4 eliminations already to their name. Becca could look to get a lot more in, but Tandok not going to make it very easy for them really to claim that prize.
Absolutely, TDK trying to push forward. But wait a second, Team SDK, they were not being very careful enough, and as they pushed forward, one of the player went down. Team TDK, they're coming in, they're throwing those grenades, and for now the disadvantage is definitely going to be there. It was already a 3v4 situation. Though the gaming they had the advantage, and now as one of the player went down, Team TDK will go all in. Pekka needs to give cover to his teammates, but he is not being able to do that. All three players coming close. TDK, they're gatekeeping them. The zone is shifting, but I guess Kem needs some support by his teammates. He's taking this fight alone, but SKT, they're also trying with the shotgun to confirm one or two elimination points, but some grenades are going back and forth from both the side. Pekka takes one down with one beautiful grenade. Kem will take that leap of faith. He goes all in three players, but he gets taken down in the zone. SDK, they're slowly and steadily taking the players of TDK one by one. Regret as he moves himself, he pushes himself on a 1v1, but he loses that 1v1. Pekka on the other side, he moves forward with Himson, but unfortunately, as one of the player is down, they're forced to, pull those defensive strats off. But Himson will get a lot of damage by the zone. He will probably get taken down, but as Himson finds one, he managed to give him damage. But zone takes Team SKD back home, and SKD gets eliminated. All these points will be confirmed by Toda Gaming, but there's blue damage that they need to be careful about. If they do not move inside the zone quickly, they will definitely get eliminated by it. And wait a second, it just happened. Toda Gaming got eliminated by the zone.
I mean, I was about to say that Vikings have a golden opportunity here to come in with a big third party, but it doesn't seem like that is what they are looking to do just yet. Manap now trying to get themselves patched up and ready to go, because that blue is absolutely relentless. Stage 5 about to come to an end. Stage 6 gonna look to make its way on through. The zone now just centers up on itself. It is gonna keep the pressure pretty high. Beautiful play here from Rules right into the side there of Godless. Icy also just in the wing. T2K now still have a bit of work to do here. They've got 3 players up. A very spread out approach coming through on the northern side here of the zone, but I'm looking towards the players here from Skyforce, right? This could be the zone, at least towards the north, that could play quite comfortably into their hand.
Absolutely, and there's one thing about Skyforce is the elevation that they have. Although the zone moves a bit more towards the western side, but Skyforce, their split is the reason why they still have the circle for themselves. One of the players is outside, but he is giving cover for any of those rotations from backside. If someone tries to backstab, Skyforce already have one of the players on that area. But T2K, they're trying to take that leap of faith. They want to take the spot from Team Skyforce. They know that they need this match. They need to make a comeback. Already they have 3 elimination points that managed to push them from 10 to 8 spot, but this is not enough. T2K needs to convert this match into a chicken dinner. As soon as they found one of the players of Skyforce, they took them down and they pushed forward, and now once again Igneous taking that leap of faith. Godless and Igneous in a 1v1, but Igneous finds the better of him. He finds Icy Wyatt. So while this man is so quick with his reflexes, Skyforce is on the last man standing now, and T2K will definitely dominate in this fight.
I mean, I love this here from Igneous. Let's see whether or not they can lock it in. They get the confirmation. That is Sanshir down. Todak get eliminated. Down to the final 5 we go. You can see 3-4 solos up against T2K. So I'm pretty sure they can clutch this one out, right? They can lock in this winner chicken dinner, but it is going to require quite a bit of focus and determination here from them, because these solos that we have could definitely look to play the upset. Of course, that's Skyforce, that's the Blue Squad, that's the Vikings, as well as Boom. Boom, they've been able to survive for the longest time here. Bonbit, we did see moving down into that position. We can see up on the mini-map as well, has been in the compound for a good long while. Right there on the map, they are as well. But is this going to be the match in which we have T2K step up and secure themselves that potential winner chicken dinner?
Absolutely, no other player has any second chance. But T2K, if they get knocked out, they can still revive their teammates. If anybody else gets knocked out, they will just get eliminated. T2K has this advantage. But I think T2K has no clue that there are three solos alive. They probably think that it's a 3v3 situation for them. That's something that will probably hurt them. They do not have many information, but as soon as they move forward, try to take that fight, that's when they will realize that every player that they eliminate does not get knocked out, he gets eliminated. But Glue Squad, they also have another player surviving. He is on the western side of the zone where there's no one else, there's no challenge. For him, at least 2 or 3 minutes, but Zone is gonna move forward. T2K will try to close, and now this is the time where all the solos will try to move inside the zone and will find each other. Blue Squad, yes, their player is in the crosshair of T2K, but T2K also needs to move forward. Rosochi now leading the way in a vehicle, slowly and steadily getting closed in, and I think the zone is very open. There's so little compounds inside the zone, but the compound fight was going on. Bhumi Sports, they got spotted, and as they eliminated one player, a trade was also there. T2K Rosoji spots the player of Blue Squad. It's a 1v1v3 situation, and T2K, they're trying to clutch it all.
Yeah, I mean, these solos finding each other out on the battlefield. Beautiful sprays coming through from Rules. This is a beautiful distraction, as we can see now. Ilya also looking to kind of close that distance, so this could be that opportunity for TTK now to lock it in. 7 eliminations already in the bag. Vikings, though, they've been playing a very quiet match. Not a single elimination for them, so they'll only be capitalizing on placement points. Let's see whether or not Xbox can keep the momentum. Can they survive? Can they make it to the very, very end? And maybe find themselves in potentially a second place finish, or will they get confirmed in third? Looking at what we have for the side there of Vikings, things are still going to be quite challenging, especially as their player is out in the open, very exposed. Moving into this next phase, I was about to say that T2K needs to be very cautious as to how they move up, because with all the solos and all the unknown, there could be quite a bit of position playing against them. But so far, T2K holding their own, looking pretty decent, pretty good, pretty strong. Now, they just have to keep their focus and try and secure these last few angles.
Absolutely, some utilities being thrown to clear all the angles, but on the other side, Break got spotted. MVK Break, he's outside the zone. I guess Ilya has the information, and that information was passed on to Rosochi, and Rosochi, he capitalized on it and confirms another elimination point. Now Glue Squad, the last man standing from this team. Some utilities are being thrown on him, and he tries to come back, but takes a 1v1 with Ilya. He takes him down and confirms another elimination point, but wait a second, there's a grenade right in front of him. He still manages to dodge it. It's a 1v2 situation. Can he clutches it off? Box Q is that one player from Team Blue Squad, and on the other side we have T2K with 2 players. If somehow this happens, he manages to take both the players down, T2K will not recover from the disrespect that will be faced. I mean, it was a 3v1v1v1 situation, and T2K, they are on a 2v1 now. This is not looking good for this team. But you know, Glue Squad, they do not have the hard cover for themselves. Every possible disadvantage is there. Not looking good for this team.
Yeah, you know, solos are also usually quite a bit of a menace when it comes to these last few zones. So Xbox is not going to be going down without a fight. They're going to look to stick it through all the way to the very end. And this is where T2K needs to be cautious as to how they move up, right? If they get a little bit too emboldened, this could definitely cost them that winner chicken dinner. But I like the spread that they're going for here. Genius up on the hill, trying to distract them on the one side, and that opens up the opportunity for Rules now to come sneaking on in on the edge. Beautiful strategy, trying to pull the attention of Xbox in both directions, but this is now going to be that send. The utility starting to rain on down, and this match is almost over.
Absolutely, but I'm liking the approach by Xbox. I mean, he's not giving up. He's still trying, even though he knows that every possible disadvantage is there. When the zone moves forward, he will have no way, no area to play. But he's still trying. He's still, giving his 100% to just clutch it out. T2K, 2 players on one side, Blue Sports, Xbox on another side. The zone is gonna end now. This is the 9th stage. No more circle for you. No more circle. Anyone But wait a second, Xbox, he's throwing some smokes, deploying that virtual cover. Maybe he's trying to get on the other side of the road and take a 1v1 with Rolls OG. But Rolls OG, he needs to realize Rolls OG is going on the other side. What's going on? Xbox, he has an opportunity, but he was unable to use it. Rolls OG makes his ways inside the zone, but Louis Sports once again trying the level best. Xbox is not gonna, give up. He has high hopes. He wants to clutch the situation, but Team T2K, the man advantage needs to be utilized. They cannot push. I mean, they can push also if they use vehicle, push all in, but they're not taking risks.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the blue that is slowly closing up, right? This is stage number 9. Blue squad about to get taken on down. There's the spray. The confirmation is in, and yeah, no surprise to see Igneous being the one to close it off. That elevated position just coming in absolutely clutch. There we have it. T2K reigning supreme here, getting their hands on that. A winner chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to say it wasn't an easy chicken, right? The solos made
Absolutely.
it especially difficult for them to gain that victory, but a well-deserved victory nonetheless.
I mean, Team T2K, they nailed this chicken dinner. Before this match, they were on maybe 11th spot with 20 points, and in this one match, they got 18 points. So if you compare their performance with the previous 4 matches, you can say that this one match was equivalent to the previous 4 matches for T2K. But moving onwards, if we talk about the MVP, it's definitely going to be Ignis with 5 elimination points and 616 damage. All because this guy was leading all the fights for his team, trying to give cover whenever the team needed, and even in the last moment, he was the one dealing with all the solos. Rolls OG, yes, definitely he was given the cover, but Ignis was the man in charge, and 5 eliminations, 616 damage. It's some impressive stats out there, and once again, T2K, they're proving from Nepal that there are so many teams who needs to, carry their momentum. This match will definitely push them into the top 9 and side by side. I think this team can get really close to the 5th spot.
Yeah, they definitely could. I mean, especially with Rules OG being the provoker, right? Kind of stoking the fire, poking, pointing at everyone, so Igneous can clean it up. But there we have the points, 19 total, going over to the side there of T2K. A beautiful performance on their end. But you got to give it up to Skyforce as well, right? Coming in with a glorious 9 eliminations, awarding them 14 total points. Glue Squad sticking it out to the very, very end. 11 points to walk away with in this game. Todak also, we did see them being quite a bit of a menace there alongside the players from Sukudai. So, yep, you gotta love it. This game, yet again, another very satisfying performance. And of course, that was our final murmur for the day. Alongside the players from Sukudai.
Absolutely, there's one more match left, and that will be played on the map of Irangal. But talking about Team Sky Esports getting 13 total points, this will get them another good spot in the points table. If you talk about the points table, they're not on the first page unfortunately, but this match will definitely place them on a good spot. On the other side, Blue Squad, they are getting that lead on the first spot. They had 45 points, before the previous match, but now they are moving towards the 56, I guess. Once again, the lead is definitely gonna be there, and as I was already talking about the overall standing, Blue Squad, look at the lead that they have from Team Toda Gaming. 41 points by Team Toda Gaming, but Blue Squad, they have a lead of 15 points.
Yeah, 15 points, it doesn't seem like much, not an exceptionally high number, but it is going to be a number that will provide them with a bit of a buffer moving into the last match of the day. T2K, though, climbing up to 7 positions as a result of this past match. That means that they sat all the way down in 11th position. So, yeah, you got to try and fight your way to the top of the board, like we see T2K doing right here. SKD also climbing up into that 8th position. So the competition really starting to tighten up as the teams are just letting it all loose. And yeah, I can't wait to see what this final match is going to be bringing.
Absolutely, T2K moving in on the 5th spot, in fact 4th spot, as we were talking about this already. One good match is definitely going to push you as the competition is really close. Skyforce moving towards the 10th spot. They were on the 16th spot previously, and this one match was a really good match for them. But they need to work on their placement points, because if you look at it, 20 eliminations and 5 placement points, that's not a balanced number, but it's okay, it's all right. There are many more matches to go. Bigatron Vitality on 11th spot with 24 points. Dingos, they had 14 eliminations on the map of Miramar previously, but I guess that was the only good match that they had.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough looking at and how we had everything kind of being pieced together moving into these last few games. Tribe RMSC, Vampire Esports, surprising to see both squads only sitting on 19 points apiece, but of course it is only still the first day, so there could still be quite a bit of change coming on forward. Regicide though, they've been having a pretty tough day. An average of 2 points across the 5 matches that we've played so far. I'm definitely hoping that they'll be able to double down on the efforts a little bit more once we get into the second and third day of play, because of, as we know, these groups only have 2 days, right? Tomorrow we're going to have the other group that is going to be joining us on the battlefield, so whatever these teams can get done on the first day, that could definitely help cement them moving forward. And of course, if you forgot who got all those winter chicken dinners, here we are. Torak got the first one, Glue Squad coming in with the second one, I8 as well as Broom, and then of course T2K to find the last Miramar of day number 1.
Absolutely, the last match is going to be there, and this is the last opportunity, at least for today, for Team DRS, Sem9, and Team Vampire Esports. You can say Vampire Esports stepped up in the previous match, but they need a good performance, another good performance. They need at least 10 to 15 points to get themselves into the top 5 spots. But on the other side, DRS, they had 10 points before this match. They only managed to get 2 points in this one. Not a very good performance. They are indulging themselves into early on skirmishes. The drop clashes are there in every other match. So if you have a drop clash on Miramar and then a drop clash on Erangel as well, it means maybe like 80% of your matches will be played in drop clashes, and that's not a good thing. I mean, having a drop clash on the map of Senhawk alone, that's something that can be very dangerous for you, but taking fights on every other map is not a good idea. Maybe they want to practice their close range skills, but a tournament like this is not the right place, I guess.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just gotta try it when you have the opportunity to do so. Of course, we've got one more map to go, so we'll find out what these teams are going to be bringing on in. Before we get to that, we are going to be hopping into a break, so be sure to stay tuned, and we'll see you right back on the other side. Of course, we've got one more map. To move into the final match, the final showdown for day number 1. It's going to be Erangel, the last match to be the decider to see how much effort these teams will have to put in the next 2 days. Of course, tomorrow we'll have a new group coming in, and then moving into the last day, it's going to be 2 different groups, right? So whoever will be playing today, tomorrow will be their last day. So we'll see exactly who that is and where it's going to go. But yeah, Aladdin, so far, a lot of excitement coming through from the teams, really keeping the pressure up, keeping that tension going. And the solos proving that it's not always that easy, even though you are a full squad, right? T2K had a pretty tough time securing the victory in this last game.
Absolutely, not just T2K. I mean, there were some other players. We saw Team Louis Sports once again performing. They are already in the first spot, but yet they're not giving it away. They're not just giving up. Even if it's a 1v3 situation, Louis Sports was trying their level best to, maximize their placement points and side by side their elimination points. But there's one team that I want to talk about. It's Team Boomy Sports. In the previous match, they had like 5 points, which is not a good number. But yes, if you look towards one match before the last, you can see that Boomy Sports was the only team who was dominating, although Glue was also there. But yes, Boomy Sports got the chicken dinner in the previous wrangle. So let's hope that they try and replicate their performance. But on the points table, they're also on not a very decent spot, so they need to work on that as well. But this is the last match, and you have to wait for one day. There will be a break of one day. Tomorrow we'll have different groups playing in. So all these teams who are playing, they need to realize this, and according to this, they have to make sure that they get maximum points in this match. Specifically, if we talk about those teams who are in the bottom spots, you have to make sure that you end your day on at least close to 7 to 8 spot, so you may end this tournament in top 9.
Yep, I mean, so tomorrow we have Group B and C playing, right? So Group A, they're going to have that day of rest, as you've mentioned. But so for Group B, they're going to have to try and set up a good momentum. So when they come into tomorrow, they can kind of just pick up that pacing and just continue with the push, right? So that is going to be of utmost importance here for them. And of course, those teams that are in Group B, that is Bigatron by Vitality, T2K, Tribe Eremacy, the Xavier Sem9 Glue Squad, Regicide, Sekudai Esports, as well as RRQ Ryu. So the pressure is going to be on, and I'm going to be looking towards those Group E squads to see what they can do right here. And speaking about what they can do, it seems like they can do quite a bit, because they have a really good flight path to start them off here.
Absolutely, flight path is slicing this map just like a slice from the katana, right from the center. You can see that all the teams, they are trying to dispose on the map. Very pure. Most probably these will those areas where we will not see many teams going. But if you talk about those early on drop clashes, Severny was a hot drop area where team A6i was taking their early on skirmish. R3G, they were trying to accompany them from the from the far angles. So let's see if 3 teams will try to move there once again. And R3G, they need to pace up not just a bit, but maybe they need to convert this match into a chicken dinner. Seeing them in the bottom spot, and we have to realize that R3G is one of those PMSL team from Pakistan side. So struggling like this from a PMSL team is not something that we expect, but maybe they will work on them on their performance and try to come back. But on the other side, my first focus is definitely going to be on the circle and then on the drop clashes.
Well, we have quite a few of those zone drops coming through already. We do have that zone being revealed, and it's going to be sitting quite centered up here. So I think for the teams, this is a phenomenal zone, right? This will really allow for a lot of the strategies to get utilized, as opposed to having to worry about getting themselves securely positioned into this next zone. So the pressure is going to be on. Whether or not the teams will be able to succeed is all going to rely on what their strategies are coming into this final match of the day. So the pressure is going to be on.
Absolutely, this is the last match. Every team needs to work on the strategy. DRS on the other side, if you talk about them, yes, they are not indulging themselves into another drop clash, and that's a good news. They are focusing on their placement points side by side. They need to work on their elimination later in the game. But there's one team that is not leaving their drop clash, and that is Team T2K. And after the previous game, after that chicken dinner, they will definitely try to pace up their momentum. Ajaya will get the first blood on Team A6 side. Baby gets taken taken down, and Ajaya confirms that elimination number. On the other side, Calm will come, and Calm will definitely take that trade with an elimination number confirmed under Ajaya. So some trades are going back and forth, and this will definitely disrupt. This will definitely create a lot of problems for both the teams. With Rolls OG with the wraparound, once again, the IHL is trying to do all the heavy lifting. Back and forth, and this will definitely.
Well, let's see who's going to be able to bag on this one, as it is going to be a full set here. Up in Savoni, love this. This is a hot and heated position as the teams are going about their way. ASI 8 Calm now going to be looking to ride it out as they push forward, taking quite a bit of damage here as D2K look to lock it in. The pressure is on. Casanova gets dropped. It's now up to Iron to keep the fire alert, and down they go. As D2K come in with carnage.
Absolutely brilliant. They wrapped around the ASX side, and ASX side could not understand what was going on, what was going wrong with them, and what was going on with them. But wait a second, before we conclude one fight, there's another skirmish between Team Skyforce and Team MGN Vikings, and you can see some trades are going here. I see he was taken down, but now after the revive, Skyforce is once again 4 men now, but MVK break, a grenade goes here. Sanjeev on the other side, he got spotted by Superman. There's one player who is so close to Skyforce, and then there's another who is trying to give all that cover. Sanjeev is down, ICY is low HP. Riley needs to work on his position. He needs to move forward. He needs to take Superman down. ICY is taking that fight all alone, but Riley and ICY, it's a 2-1 situation here. Superman needs to pull that miracle off. He needs to win this fight. He has a shotgun in his hand. From both the sides, some bullets are being traded, but nothing is making an impact. Superman comes out. ICY spots him once again. But wait a second, he survives barely, but not anymore, because Riley comes in this time from a different angle and takes another player down. This gives the time. This gives the time to him to move forward and revive his teammate, but Break left all alone behind a tree. What is this guy gonna do?
Yeah, Break needs a break from the crazy sweaty plays that we've seen come through here from Skyforce. But now, Skyforce, as you said, right, have the opportunity to get themselves back into fighting form. Not quite sure how Break is going to be able to make it through this one, as they know. But now, Skyforce, look at the reach on that, though.
Absolutely. I mean, the maximum reach of a grenade is 75 meters, but when you jump and you throw it, it can definitely, exceed it. But wait a second, Drake, he found one of the players who was trying to wrap him around in a vehicle, and he takes him down. Although Superman gets eliminated, but Drake confirms his elimination number. Skyforce, what a blunder by them. They are, just delivering their elimination points to Team MG and Vikings. But now it's a 1v2 situation, and Skyforce, they did a huge blunder. One of the players was trying to wrap around without any cover fires, without anything. But now Skyforce, they did a huge blunder. One of the players was trying to wrap around without any cover fires, without anything. But now Skyforce, maybe they heard some bullets, and now they are coming for a third party, and Riley, he got spotted by Xbox, and now the pressure is definitely on Skyforce as Glue Squad is charging in. Some bullets, and now
I mean, I love this play coming through from Glue Squad. They are just so widespread, and they are very likely to get the full wipe on both teams. Skyforce now down to only one remaining player. It's going to be Sanchir just trying to get the heck out of dodge as the pressure is on, but down they go. The shots are in. One squad down, one more about to fall as the Vikings are going to feel that now getting turned on towards them. Ziggy taking a nice little bit of a quiet position here. I don't know if anybody knows that Break is currently situated there. This could be that surprise strategy, but the vampires also now moving up just towards that southern side as we saw them off in the distance. Break going to try and hope that Glue don't find them just behind the street.
I mean, Team Skyforce, they were taking fight with the team in Glue Sports. They probably had the idea. They heard the gunshots, and still they did not spot him out. But Drake, That was a mistake by him. Trying to spray on a moving vehicle was not a good idea. That's how he gave away his position, and that's how he got eliminated. But those 3 points will definitely give the kickstart that Team Blue Sports needed in this match. They are already on the 56 points, so you can say that their performance is already very impressive in the points table. But now, as there are some teams like Skyforce, after their, you can say they were being desperate to get that elimination number confirmed. That's how they lost the fight, because 3v1 was not a very bad situation. But Blue Sports, after confirming that fight, they are indulging themselves into another. Vampire Sports was trying to protect from that area, and Blue Sports, they managed to take one of the player down. And as Vampire Sports is also trying to wrap around, Blue Sports is trying to get away from this fight, and they're trying to leave, or maybe they're trying to slam in. Vampire Sports, one of the players down. All 4 players are trying to indulge from Team Blue Sports. Another gets taken down. This hoverboard play is coming in from Team Vampire side, and look at this. Look at this. This hovercraft is gonna give a lot of information. Miola uses, comes forward, takes one down, gets back into his vehicle, once again comes out, takes another player down, but Vampire gets eliminated. And Team Blue Sports will get 7 elimination number. Who is gonna stop them? I don't think any player or any team is gonna be able to do that. Vampire, they tried their level best. They were trying to rotate, but Blue Sports, they got the toll that they needed. 4 elimination numbers confirmed.
I mean, I think it is safe to say that Glue Squad wants to make sure when they come back on the battlefield tomorrow that they have a slightly more comfortable day. What is going on? These vehicles doing weird things right here. But yeah, it's interesting to see just how much aggression they're looking to bring on through, as you said, right? 7 eliminations up already. If they continue moving forward like this, it could be a phenomenal day. But it is going to be quite dependent on what the rest of the lobby will be bringing in as a response to that. Now, Tribe Hermesy, they are yet to surprise us with a blow-away performance. 19 points is what they have coming into this game. Nothing that they've been able to find so far. Kodak, though, spotting out a few opportunities, going to be looking to drive it in and maybe sneak in a few cheeky trades.
Absolutely, Tottenham Gaming, they need all those elimination points. If you look towards the placement that they have on the points table, it's the 3rd spot. Although they're looking in a very comfortable spot, but they need to compete in Glue's squad. Glue squad, they already have a lead, and yet they are not stopping whatsoever. As you already mentioned, they need to end the day on such a comfortable spot that they, even if they do not manage to get their momentum in the next day, they still they still stay on that 1st spot, or maybe close to the top 3. But DRS on the other side, so trying to take that fight on long range. SKD was in front of them. Some crossbow shots were being delivered by Kilobyte, but SKD double shut one of the player down. Cyclone is down, but they are on a very comfortable spot. The slamming is not going to work. If Team SKD they manage to slam in on this area, teams DRS will definitely have that advantage, because there are some avenues on the eastern side of these compounds where 1 or 2 teams will definitely try to hold, and then a 3rd party on SKD will definitely help Team DRS. But Cold Feed is getting led. Team BTR taking fight with R3G. R3G, they're losing their players. Unfortunately, they are on the last man standing, and that's not the case. That's not the Team R3G, we were expecting better from them. We wanted them to play a comeback match, but unfortunately, last man standing. I think they cannot do anything else. We can only see the kill feed, not the perspective of the players. But BTR, they are confirming some elimination points. I think they cannot do
Let's see whether or not
we can only see the kill feed.
these points are going to find their way anywhere, as we're about to hit stage number 3. The Xavier now flying up Data Hill, knocking on the door here, coming in with some demands. Are they going to be anywhere? Will they get a good response? Will they get the jump that they're looking for? Or will they find nothing? So far, seems like they are not going to be finding themselves anything. BTR are going to be looking to put quite a bit of distance in between themselves, and that rush is going to be Sen 9. Now having to hold up against the aggression that could potentially be coming through here from the Glue Squad, as both teams are just rotating up with vehicles. It is looking like a little bit of that Pubg GTA, right? It's just vehicles all over the place. Blaz Official has a bit of an opportunity here. The Xavier just on the edge. Potato Hill still under contention. Who's going to be the one to lock it in? The opening sprays now coming through here. As you can see, Bluz feeling that gyro has been dropped on down. And this is now the opportunity for Bluz official to decide. Are they going to disengage or will they rather reposition?
Well, Bluz official, they got their player eliminated gyro. He's always the first player to go down. But wait a second, as they were trying to settle down, DX, they decided to push forward. They went all in. They took one player down and eliminated him as well. It's a 2v4 situation. DX, look at them, they're going all in. But okay, he finds one, takes him down. He was trying to get that elimination number confirmed, but Dingo's Paratin, he comes from the backside, confirms a focus elimination, and now Bluz official left in the last player who will be forced to fall back from this fight because he does not want to engage in a 1v4 situation. He knows what's the plan of Team DX, and DX is going all in. But wait a second, some chaos is going on here. RRQ versus AST versus Team Blue Squad versus BTR. 4 teams coming up against each other in the farm area, and RRQ as they are confirming some elimination points in Blue Squad. But Blue Squad, they are definitely spotting all the players on that eastern side, and now they eliminated one player as well. But DRS, they're also joining the party. Treason going back and forth. Cyclone is coming all in. What is the chaos? Absolute chaos. Everybody is going bonkers, and look at this. Stickly is moving forward with the shotgun. A grenade comes in from Hexas, and this will definitely damage the last player of DRS. Yutauta, the last man standing, got eliminated, and Team Blue Squad, they got 11 eliminations.
They are running away with the points so far. Absolutely insane performance coming through from Blue Squad. But what was this insanity? I mean, DRS, I appreciate what they were trying to do there. Unfortunately for them, Blue Squad just weren't allowing any of that. BTR and RRQ also still going to be holding nice and steadily here. We do see DX Xavier also now continuing with their barrage, their relentless efforts in the feed. And with that, we are 10 teams strong coming into the final few phases. I say that, and we're about to hit stage 4, right? So there's so much that has happened in just these past few minutes. These teams are absolutely relentless. 14 minutes in, and we are almost sitting on only 9 teams remaining. In just these past few minutes.
Absolutely 9 teams remaining, but Circle moves towards the northwestern side. Team Booming Sports, you can see that they have the advantage. Team SKD Die, yes, they also have 3 players inside the zone. They have some compounds for themselves as well. But 7-9, they are also trying to stay away from all those fights. But what a chaos, what an absolute chaos it was. Team Blue Squad, DRS, and there were many other names who were trying to push, and they were trying to eliminate Team Blue Squad, but Blue turned every aggression into eliminations, everything in their favor, and now they have 11 eliminations confirmed. SKD, yes, if you look towards the points table, they do not have a very comfortable spots for themselves. They're on the 10th spot. They need the second winner. Even if they get 4 to 5 eliminations, it will be enough for them. 15 points, it's all they need to get themselves into a comfortable spot, and that's something that everyone wants. But Booming Sports, fighting with Team DX for the best spot inside the zone, maybe a fight for a second dinner, you can say, although it's too early to say that. But yes, that spot is brilliant. But Booming Sports, they're losing their man advantage. DX, they have 7 eliminations already. You know, the entire plan of Team Dingoes is to go all in and get all those eliminations. That's exactly what Team Blue is doing. But teams are pushing on Blue, and if you talk about Team DX, they are pushing on teams and get all those eliminations.
I think that's the strategy to really try and capitalize on, especially on this first day. Is, you know, a few teams seem to maybe be a little bit more hesitant, and they don't necessarily want to do too crazy of a play. But as you pointed out, the Xavier and Clue, they chose violence, and so far it is paying off quite well for them here. Boom Esports, though, they have been able to get that winner chicken dinner a little bit earlier in the day, but will they be able to replicate the efforts moving into the final match? The rest of the lobbies, they're going to try and make it as tough as they can. T2K, though, it's good to see that they can kind of keep that same pacing as we saw in the previous match, right? Murmur went quite well. Now, they seem to be able to kind of carry that momentum. Not going to be falling to a similar fate that we usually see, is where the team gets the chicken. The next match, they're one of the first teams to go. They So, yeah, good play here. Very, very decent angles. Now, Bigatron by Vitality still in it here. Are they going to win it? Don't quite know, but Bumblebee could get buzzing pretty soon. So we're going to come down to how the zone is going to shift. Potato Hill, though, still looking pretty hot. Parisian riding it out, looking for the opportunity. Fajar now just trying to go up for that raise, but keeping it close. Parisian absolutely taken apart. And sometimes the aggression works, other times it sends you right back into the lobby.
Absolutely, that's what happened with DX. They got 9 elimination points, but they got eliminated. I mean, they wanted to convert it into a 20 or maybe 25 points match, but unfortunately they found Team Boomy Sports, and Boomy Sports, that's when the demise of Team DX was decided. That's where it happened. But I think a lot of teams from the outsides, from the outskirts, they helped this team. They helped Team Boomy Sports, because if you look towards the elimination numbers of Team Boom, they have only 2 points. But DX, they charged here with all 3 players. So maybe someone else from the outskirts, they got a chance to, they got a fair share in all that fight. But Boomy Sports, once again, the zone is moving all the way from, from Potato Hill to the eastern side, and now they have to make their ways inside the zone. Though they're gaming on the other side, the happiest team out there alongside 7-9, because they have the zone and they do not need to rotate. But this right there, this is the place where all 4 squads tried to push at the same time. Boomy Sports, they lost their minute advantage here. Now Bumblebee is the last man standing, and he knows that playing inside the zone is more important than going all in, trying to get into the fights, because he's the last man standing, and all he needs to do is pull those survival strats and stay alive.
I'm curious, do you think Bumblebee is going to look to transform this whole situation potentially? Maybe. Right, that of course being a transformer joke, but any which way, we'll see where and what fate has in store for our remaining few squads here. As you're talking about it, right, a few teams really blessed with positioning, good angles that they have within the zone. The blue is going to start to constrict as we've got about 2 minutes left. And this is now going to be the reveal all. Right. Only a few times have we hit that stage number 9. So let's see who's going to get cooking and where it will take us. RRQ, though, they're going to start to pick a fight as they choose the players there from the Glue squad. You see, up on the western front, things not looking very easy here. Boom still holding steady up on Potato Hill. Going to maybe opt for a bit of rotation. Ooh, but T2K is there. We got Sam9 there, so Boom don't quite see them making a safe rotation out of here. And with that, the confirmation is in. Broom is down. RRQ now getting ready to have their own swing plays as, yep, the mollies come on in. Lapar. Ooh, now we're going to have to try and bring their teammate back on their feet as their absolute obliteration just bulldozing the way on through. That is Glue Squad. Absolutely relentless. I mean, I don't know how they find the spacing, but they just do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason why they have 12 elimination points, and once again they're charging in RRQ, but RRQ, they're not allowing them to breach in, although they breached the compound, but not the first floor. But RRQ, once again, some grenades are going back and forth from both the sides. But look at the HP, look at the Molotov. That brilliant Molotov will take Lapart down, and Glue Squad will confirm another elimination point. And look at this, RRQ is done and dusted. They got eliminated from this match, but I think this was the match where Team Blue, they could have, managed to get those 30 points. The 30 bomb that we were talking about. But imagine a team who is so far away from every other team on the points table gets a 30-point match and definitely becomes unreachable. But D2K, look at their push. Before this match, before the previous match, in fact, they were on the 12th spot, and look at them. They got jumped. They got a jump in the previous match, and now with 7 elimination numbers, they are on the 2nd. What a comeback storyline by this team.
It's like they got a rocket strapped to their boots, right? They're just flying up the standings. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure T2K are quite happy with the turnout here for the day. Of course, it's not over just yet. It's still moving in many different ways. Bumblebee, gotta watch out for those windows, as Glue has potentially spotted out a bit of an opportunity here. But for Bumblebee, I think this is going to be a pretty tough angle to defend, because there's 2 teams just hovering towards that southern side. So the pressure is definitely going to be on SKD, though, looking to see what their approach will be. Taking a little bit of a spread, trying to kind of just seal as many different approaches up as they can here. Focusing a little bit on the south, focusing a little bit up on towards the north. But Todak, they're doing nothing. Just keeping themselves out of harm's way. They've not found a single elimination. Instead, they've lost a player. And now they look to try and wake up, trying to kind of lay into the side of SKD's rotation. But unfortunately for SKD, again, there's not a lot of options, right? Everywhere they go, they are going to be in the crosshairs of one of the opposing teams.
I mean, they always say that luck favors the brave. SKD, a brave rotation by them, and a knockdown from some other team on T2K, that's going to help them. But for now, if TKD, they try to push forward and, get those elimination numbers confirmed, they will definitely get a helping hand. But T2K, wait a second, Rozoji comes on a different angle. He takes that elevation into his advantage and tries to take 2 players down, manages to take 1, but Sem9 is on another side. T2K has to be really careful. They're left with the last man standing. Rozoji wants to confirm his elimination number. That's the reason why he's throwing some grenades. But on some other side, Sem9, they can also charge in. Rozoji has to be careful. He's going all in, out in the open, but from a different angle. Sem9, they're trying to close in. They know that zone is going to move forward, and then they will be forced to leave this area. But as soon as they clear their close quarters, it will get easy for them. But on the other side, SDK or SKD, okay, SKD, there's SDK in Pakistan side, that's why I'm getting confused. But SKD, they revived their teammate, took him, and went back into the safe side where there are some compounds, and they will hold it for themselves. But on the other side, Sem9, they're waiting to, for the zone to get close, and then they will probably push on the last man standing of T2K. But look at Toda Gaming, and in this entire match, they were trying to stay away from all those fights, but now they realize that elimination points is also necessary. But Rozoji, he gets pushed by Sem9. If you push him one by one, you will get eliminated. But Sem9, as soon as the player went out of his cover, they realized it, they used it, and they eliminated the last man of T2K. But what a gameplay by this team. What a play by Rozoji as well. T2K, they got 8 or probably 9 eliminations before they got eliminated, but they pushed from 12 to 2nd spot in just 2 matches, and that is brilliant by them. But on another side is SKD versus Team TDK, and some back and forth trades will definitely leave Sem9 and the last 2 players, but Toda Gaming will get eliminated, and also SKD also gets eliminated. This chaos is not gonna leave anyone alive, and now we're left with the 1v2v2 situation where there's R3G alongside Sem9 and Team Blue Squad. Somehow in all that chaos, Blue Esports still managed to have 2 players in the last zone.
Well, if they're not careful, they won't be able to stay that for very much longer. But so Roshan still going to be looking to find a bit of a play here. Unfortunately, yeah, it's not going to be on that end, as Noel has now been able to escape. Now going to try and rotate up, but gets dropped right on down. The utilities finding their way through here. Sem9 has heard this phrase, and now getting ready to see if they can potentially maybe lock in this winner-winner chicken dinner. They have the numbers advantage. They don't quite have the zone positioning, but they are going to try and leverage everything available to them. Roshan now could be met with a few difficult decisions here. You can see the utilities flying down the hillside. 9D keeping it, or DH rather. I don't even know. What's the easiest way to pronounce this name? Haikyuu? We'll go with Haikyuu.
I don't know if it's Haikyuu or Haikyuu. I have no clue whatsoever. But Roshan, he's trying to move forward. Haikyuu has that elevation and needs to utilize it. But once again, Roshan, he thought that he might have a chance on Sem9's player, but Sem9 will shut another player down. Now, victory is in their favor. You can say it. 1 more player to go. Xbox, and that's Xbox. Wait a second. I would like to take my words back. It's not going to be easy for Sem9 because he's the same solo who prolonged the last match. It took 6 to 7 minutes for T2K to try and eliminate him. And now, as Sem9 has no clue where this player is, it might get a little bit more difficult for Team Sem9 to eliminate him. Xbox comes with a grenade, moves forward, realizes that there's 1 player, but he did not realize that this is a crossfire setup. There's another on a different side, and Sem9, they got the chicken dinner, but still, there is 1 team who is playing so consistently and managed to be on the 2nd spot with maybe 12 or 13 elimination numbers. What a play by them as well.
Yeah, I mean, Glue Squad doing a phenomenal job. Well done for getting second place. But Zem9 are going to be the one to reign supreme as they come through with a clutch up winner chicken dinner. And quite a bit of a contentious performance all the way to the very, very end. I mean, it's been hot and sweaty, right? From the very start of the day, not just the start of this match, but every moment has been filled with quite a bit of carnage, chaos, and mayhem. So, yeah, a very, very well-deserved winner chicken dinner coming through for Sem9. Of course, this is their first one for the day, and the last one up for grabs. So, yeah, a very,
Absolutely, but Glue Squad, how can we not forget this? How can we not talk about this? 13 eliminations they had, or maybe when the match ended, they maybe had 15 or 14 elimination points, but this amount of points teams are unable to get after getting chicken dinner and Glue Squad, they're still getting it. Maybe they will reach around 60 points after this match, 10 points average per match. That is brilliant by Glue Squad. But T2K, the way they made a comeback on the points table, that's something that we can say is another impressive storyline. TDK, yes, this team tried to stay away from all those early on fights. Even their rotation was away from all these teams. Yet they are on the third spot. So brilliant performance by all these teams. But MVP, if you talk about him, it's going to be none other than Rules OG. Is he the ideal? Yes. Is he the fragger? Yes, because he has 4 elimination points with 942 damage. If you talk about him,
that's pretty impressive damage numbers to bring in, and only getting 4 eliminations out of that just shows you how active they were in this last game. Of course, the 8 eliminations makes a whole lot of sense looking at that. I keep on wanting to call the Glue Squad the Power Rangers, right? Just looking at the outfits, it reminds me of the Power Rangers, but you know, you just gotta love it. A phenomenal performance, 15 eliminations, and that second place finish puts them on a very comfortable 21 points to close off the day here. Sem9 though, 17, that is gonna help them quite a bit with just establishing themselves in those overall rankings. Of course, coming into the match, they were all the way in 13th position with only 20 points. So in one game, they kind of squared up their overall performance for the other previous 5 games.
absolutely, but Team R3G getting 6 points, and then we can see Team Boomy Sports, they had only 2. Vikings, another team, was struggling on the points table. They have 2 points. Plus official, not a very impressive performance by them as well. A6 side, although they were winning all those early on drop clashes, that's their strong side. Whenever someone tries to challenge this team in terms of early on drop clashes, that's when Team A6 side shines the most. But unfortunately, they were in the previous match. They did not get many points, and now you can see that A6 side is on that 5th spot. Before this match, they were on the 2nd spot, I guess. T2K, although they tried to climb up, Louis Sports on the first number. Look at their points, 77 points in 6 matches.
It's impressive. It's impressive. Just shows you the consistency is there, right? You said it would maybe be something like 10 points. That puts them on, I don't know, like almost 11 points average, more or less, give or take, right? So, yeah, still a very, very good day here for the side of Glue Squad, but no surprise to see that really be the case here, because as we know, right, they have to try and kind of set up a bit of a buffer zone come tomorrow, so that whatever may happen with the new squad stepping onto the battlefield, that they know they have a little bit of safety, right? And I think safety at this point is definitely going to be something to try and at least play for. Looking at the rest of the lobby, yeah, the numbers are there, but will it be enough? And as we said, Group B tomorrow is going to be the make or break point for them, right? Can they do enough to ensure that they finish in the top 9 so they get that straight qualification into the grand finals?
Well, when there are only limited teams who are, overperforming or maybe dominating the entire lobby, that's when it gets easy for all the other teams, because the competition, it does not give them, good numbers to chase. There are 9 teams who will qualify, 9 spots, and Louis Sports, the more they dominate, the more the competition will stay between the other teams, because, when they will get all the points, the other teams will not get the chance to get more points. So I guess if you look towards all the teams from the 3rd spot onward, onward, with one good match, you can jump from the 13th spot to the third spot, and that's what every team needs to realize. Look at the numbers of Skyforce; they have 28 points. Although between 13 and 14, yes, there is a big difference of 9 points, you can say. But apart from that, in 9 numbers, in 9 points from 13 to top, 4 or 5, you can clearly see a lot of team out there. But Tribe Messi, some good matches are needed from their side. Vampire Sports, they also need to get a very good match if they want to secure a spot in top 9.
It's interesting to see the squads that won the previous season, right? Bigatron by Vitality and Tribe Eremacy sitting on the second page. But yes, it's only the first day. If Tribe Eremacy is going to be looking to be the victors once more, they definitely will have to up the ante, the approach and the efforts, especially leading into tomorrow's games. But speaking about who doesn't need to do that, it's going to be our MVPs, right? Noel coming through there with a very strong presence, 13 eliminations. Lapar coming through with 12. And of course, we got Rules OG and Skem coming in with 9 and 8 eliminations respectively as well. So, yep, some heavy hitters showing up here today. And of course, we got Rules
Absolutely, Noel with 30 elimination, that's a brilliant number. But on the other side, Lapar, if you talk about this one team, RRQ, Lapar is the only guy who's getting all that elimination numbers confirmed. But side by side, Rules OG coming up from T2K side clearly tells us that this guy is not just the IGL, he is also the fragger. But moving onwards, tomorrow is going to be another day. 6 matches will be played. Group A will not play. I guess it's going to be Group B and C, right?
Yes.
Is also the fragger. Okay, so Group A, all the teams who are playing in Group A, if you talk about them, it's DRS, Boom Esports, ASX side, Vampire Sports, Tode Gaming, Viking Esports, Champions Esports, and Skyforce alongside Plus Official. I think it's going to be more of a difficulty for Team DRS. Tomorrow it's going to be another day where tomorrow is going to be a day where they are not playing. So all the other teams will definitely get a lead. They will get a chance to put the lead on the points table. So a psychological disadvantage is definitely going to be there for DRS when they will come back for the third day.
I mean, it could be a disadvantage or it could be exactly what they need to rise to the occasion, right? So, of course, we'll find out soon what exactly that will be. But also then the teams that are going to be joining us tomorrow is going to be A1 Esports, Void Donkey ID, we got Talent, we got Bandit, as well as 141 Esports, Viper KO, Nexery, Halal, Axatron, and then of course 4YLC that are going to be stepping in here as well. So quite a bit of a lineup. Quite a few exciting teams that are going to be joining us on the battlefield, so be sure to join in for that. And I think on that is going to be wrapping us up for day number 1. Be sure to come in for day number 2 as the teams continue to try and climb those overall standings. Thank you so much for being here, and it's going to be a wrap from myself, TK, and Aladdin. We'll see you back in tomorrow. As the teams continue to try and climb those overall standings. Thank you so much for being here, and it's going to be a wrap from